Vegas Bad Boy of Podcasting is an entertainment-based wrestling program. The opinions shared are that of the host and their guest. Some celebrity voices are impersonated and usually not well. This program is not intended for kids and certain adults. Listeners' discretion is advised. You have been warned. Now let's get ready to podcast. Hey, welcome everybody to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. I'm your host DJ Impact, and I got some of the bad boys, but don't worry, the other bad boy's on his way. He's just running really fast to get over here. So by the time, we get to our third topic, I'm sure he'll be here. Simon Street, what do you think, man?
So hold on, Sin City Steve is actually running?
He's running over here.
Your explanations
get
more and more elaborate by the show from when somebody's not here. He's catching a flight, and he'll be here very shortly. We just want to hold it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get it started. But you know what? He'll be joining us in about 5 minutes. He's on the tarmac right now.
ETA every 15 minutes. We'll let you know the ETA. No, I'm good.
You good?
I'm good. I'm great. Copacetic.
Okay. That's a big word for you. King Lucky. I'm just messing with you. King Lucky, well, how are you, man?
Somebody's going to get these hands.
Oh, okay.
Did you wash them first?
I actually did. Thank you.
It's good to see you're still a Braun fan.
Yeah, I am. I mean, even though he's in the wrestler cemetery where he's buried right now, yes, I am still a fan of Braun Strowman.
Matt Michaels, how you doing over there?
Well, we just passed Father's Day,
yes,
and I want all you.
Sorry.
Damn, is that how you feel?
The show's already over.
Bad memories of Father's Day.
Just pretend that you didn't hear that. Go ahead.
So for all of you fathers out there, celebrated Father's Day this past weekend. I just want you to remember one thing: you're all a bunch of motherfuckers.
Ooh.
You know what? I thank you, because if there's one thing I fucked really well in life, it's mothers.
Oh. Well,
there's our sponsorship. God, these bad boys.
Right.
I did it with passion.
Yeah,
you did.
Oh, yeah.
I even looked in the eye.
Brought to you by Mother's Cookies.
I love your mother's cookies.
So this is going to be...
I've loved a lot of mother's cookies.
That was from that Jennifer Lopez movie where she was dating a little young boy, lived next door, but she didn't know he was a young boy with man parts, and he went up to his... Anyways, I don't want to get into that. But anyways.
So look, this is going to be a little bit of a longer show today because you got to hear the rest of Bumps and Brewses talent that's going to be happening on Saturday, June 29th. So you're going to hear Slice Boogie later on.
Yeah.
You're going to hear Watts.
And
Super Panda.
Super Panda.
Yeah.
There you go.
So get to learn these names because, although they're fighting in LA, they'll be fighting elsewhere around the country as well. So get to know those names. And you never know. We could be coming to a town near you, learning new talent names.
Oh. You're just learning Watts' name now, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
He's only been around for a decade.
Well, okay. But what I'm saying is...
I'm finally glad to be the one not getting ribbed this week about not knowing talent and, so that's
Look,
good.
King Lucky, I will be honest with you, man. You've upgraded your game, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you're now thinking with a full brain on your shoulders instead of out your ass normally. So I appreciate
there
your
it
growth.
is. Yes, I am fully cultivated.
Okay.
Eviscerated. I am fully cultured.
Yes.
On all the independent wrestlers. So yes, I am now fully ingrained and entrenched with all the knowledge I need.
Well,
and I'm ready to start watching 205 too.
Oh wow!
Wow!
Now that's
no, not really.
That's huge
sorry.
news.
That's very good.
I'm sorry. Yes, no.
Because I still got that 205 big man's blanket on my Amazon cart. Just wait for the right opportunity to
keep
bring
it warm there. Keep it warm.
All right, y'all ready for the 1, 2, 3 count?
Go.
Always.
Let's do it. It's time. Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting present
1, 2, 3.
Count Talk.
Count Talk, baby.
So, our first ring count for tonight comes from Forbes.com. And the writer is saying that there are 5 huge pushes that is coming from WWE that fans are clearly rejecting. So if that's the reason, we want to kind of figure out why are the fans rejecting them. Now, these are the 5 pushes that he mentions. Baron Corbin's being pushed. Fans don't like him. Shane McMahon's being pushed. Fans don't like him. Lacey Evans being pushed. Fans don't like her. Brock Lesnar, of course, it always seems like he's being pushed. Fans not like him. And Lars Sullivan. Yeah, no one likes him either.
Yeah, that's
So if they're pushing these guys, and I must say, we see all 5 of them weekly on TV. What's going on, Simon?
Go one by one on these, man.
yes.
One by
Definitely.
one? Oh,
One by one.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
better.
all right.
One by one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baron Corbin.
Okay. Just want to let you guys know I had a massive bowel movement that I pushed out this morning with more significance than the corporate hand-holding, rubbing that Corbin has gotten. Look, I'll be honest with you. In-ring competitor, he's top-notch. Athleticism, top-notch. Entertaining, top-notch. But we've been at this for a freaking, 4 or 5 months with this shtick? And he seems to be booked okay as your asshole supervisor with the power trip. What the fuck's not connecting? I don't know. Not booking him properly. That's my opinion.
What's your take, King?
You know what? I actually like Baron Corbin, and I will say that, you had some very good points, but I just think that they have probably pushed him a little bit too far, too fast. The same thing has been regurgitated now for almost about a year with Baron Corbin, and so there's a point when you can get a person over, and it's organic, and then there's obviously the machine gets behind them, but to me, they got to do something different.
Well, look, okay, so Baron is supposed to be a heel,
Yeah.
and fans don't like him. Is he not doing his job? Michaels.
No, he's doing his job.
Okay.
He's doing his job. It's
Okay.
just that some people, like Smark here.
Okay.
So we can go back almost 12 months now, and we can go back and look at the King, who was like, I like Baron Corbin.
Mm-hmm.
I like him. And I said, well, you know what? I don't like him. He can't talk. He just can't talk on a fucking mic.
Mm-hmm.
And in the ring, he's okay. But he's nothing spectacular. Plus, putting him in fucking button-down clothes, like,
Yeah, that
like what the
did
fuck?
no justice for him.
Yeah. So I mean, they've mishandled him, but King Lucky liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Still
did.
likes him.
That's
Well, no, whoa. And then March ran around, and King Smarky. I can't believe that Baron Corbin's wrestling Kurt Angle and going over in WrestleMania. He doesn't deserve it. I don't like him. And then, as of today, right now, with the mics rolling, I like Baron Corbin.
For the record, everyone, despite what Michael says, I actually did not like, I still like Baron Corbin. I always have throughout. Even though these guys say stutters and he's got mental blunders and all that stuff. My issue is I thought Kurt's final match should have been with somebody else.
If you like the fucking guy, why not put him over because he's staying and Angle isn't? And now it's like, oh, I like the guy. They just got to do something different with him. Fuck, man. I mean, I go down to a 99-cent store if I wanted a pair of flip-flops.
Damn.
Well, let's go to the next one, man. While you think about something to come back on that one, King.
Oh. I'm already back.
Okay. Shane McMahon. I was just doing the whole motion.
Was that?
He's the best in the world. There you go.
Y'all both need to stick to y'all day jobs, and
Okay.
y'all barely do that well.
That's true. But what's your take on Shane, man?
I think he overextended. I think that it started out great, but it's just, I mean, shit. Let's have one of us guys go to WWE and have the same thing with Shane. I mean, it just seems like rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. I want something fucking new. Again, that's just my personal opinion. I like what he's doing. Again, I just need a new chapter for asshole Shane, best in the world. That's all I want. Just a new fucking opponent. An asshole Shane.
I actually like where they're going with Shane, but I don't. All right, so here's the thing. Rumor has it.
Okay.
No. Fuck you.
Yes.
No.
Rumor
No, you have
has
to
it.
say with a deep voice.
All right, here we go. Rumor has it.
Damn, that sounds rated R.
Yeah. Rumor has it that Shane is going to be the one to beat Kofi Kingston.
What?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
So
Wow, that's going to go over so
So
well.
here's my thing. It definitely will not. Especially if the fans are chanting right now, boring and other things like that, you know,
Yeah.
during his segments. I don't have a problem with where they're going with Shane. I actually like Shane as a face, but the heel thing is money.
No, I agree with that. The
Because-
heel component of him is great. I just need something new with that.
Well, I mean, facing Roman's pretty good. He beat Roman, you know. So I like the diversity in his character because you can clearly see that they're kind of making him, you know, his father in that role, in that authority role, right? Where all the superstars now will kind of have a little bit of all the faces at least will have a little bit of a, you know, conflict with him. So it makes for some interesting matches. So I'm sold on it. I do not think that he should win the belt or the title, if you will, from Kofi Kingston. That would be a disgrace.
Who the fuck came up with that one?
That's what I want to know.
It's out
Where's
there.
your source?
It's out
Where's
there.
your source?
I don't have a source on this one.
You don't
It's
have a
out
source,
there.
so it's your hunch.
No, I read it somewhere, but
You
it's out
prophesized
there.
this. So you woke up one day, saw a glimmer of light peering through your window, and music in the background, angels singing.
As
You
I was sitting on my
prophesized.
throne.
Oh, and you pushed out a
Yeah,
prophecy.
yeah.
Out your ass.
Definitely.
Man, you know, I got a damn thing to say after that.
Well, I think the point we got to get to here is this guy from Forbes magazine, you know, the top-notch wrestling magazine, Forbes.
It is?
They
Definitely not.
so it's about it's about fans rejecting. So the interesting thing I find here is that our fans actually fans are saying that they're sick of seeing him on both shows, and he's taking time. Fans are fickle. They you know, oh, Shane's taking time away from, you know, the Revival. Oh, even though they're putting the Revival with him, you know what I'm saying? He's giving a rub to a team like the Revival.
Yes.
You know, it's so fans rejecting it, just fucking stupid. He's doing his job. Again, he's a heel.
Right.
And the more annoyed and the more, you know, pissed off you get that you keep seeing him, the better that is doing
Builds
its
that
job.
heat. Yeah. Absolutely.
Pretty simple.
I'd say stop. Don't stop. You know, keep going with it because it's going to make for some interesting matchups. It's going to make for.
I say take the belt off of Kofi if your rumor's true.
Oh, geez.
What?
Fuck yeah. What's bigger heat than Shane McMahon taking the title off of
And
Kofi?
then he really.
It
will
all
be the
depends
best
on how
in the
he
world.
does it, though. If he does it in the most McMahon fashion way, then I'm for it. Because at the end of the day, you're right. You're going to get a lot of freaking heat. But if you just do it in a regular match, I'm like, oh.
So the fans are already rejecting Shane. He gets the title, and what? I mean, they hate him even more, which I can hear you saying, well, that's maybe what we're trying to do, but does hearing you suck and boring constantly from place to place seem like that it's still doing?
What?
Well, yeah, that's the stone cold.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the fans, fuck the fans. At some point, you have to say fuck the fans, because if you keep trying to listen to them,
but at the same time, I mean, so when we have these talks about viewership and the amount of people that come to the shows dropping, why do you want to keep saying fuck the fans then?
Well, because if you're not going to change the fan intro. Okay, you have a base right now, right?
Okay,
that is complaining.
Okay, yeah, right.
What are they not doing? They are not watching the show. They are still watching, especially to complain. The numbers that you're losing are not the fans who are out there to watch the product and bitch about it, or watch the product and love it. Mm-hmm. The fans that you're losing are people who can't afford to go to shows now because of the economy, right? You're talking about fans who maybe have outgrown that age. You know, we've talked to a lot of guys, even pro wrestlers themselves, who have said when they hit 14 years old, 15 years old, went into high school, fuck wrestling, they're into chicks now. Or dudes.
Or both.
Or both.
Right.
So, you know, I think what you're losing are not the wrestling fans who are going to continue to watch the product and support the product and just shit on it.
Right.
And what you're trying to do is you're getting a vocal majority there who are trying to control the product.
Yeah.
The best way, if you're so pissed at the direction of the product, don't watch. But they're not. They're still watching.
Well, there are some that has removed themselves from the product. We hear it sometimes. I just don't watch that shit no more.
There's always been that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Even
the people who are complaining that the product is no good are not the ones who are not watching the product.
Right. Got you. Simon Street.
Yes.
Lacey Evans had a really big push in NXT.
Did you say big tush? I love Lacey's big tush.
Big push. Hey, by the way, y'all, Sin City Steve,
he finally ran.
Speaking of big tush,
he just landed on the tarmac and he's here.
ETA update, ladies and gentlemen.
Sin City Steve is here.
He's been running, man. You need some water? You good?
I'm good, man. Thank you.
All right.
Do you want your toes rubbed or some shit?
I mean, if you're offering.
Not me. I don't rub toes, but you know.
We'll be back after this commercial break.
Simon, going back to you though. So Lacey Evans, big push, right? Mm-hmm. Now she's on the main roster. What's wrong? What's the problem?
It's almost going to be the same damn response I have to all these modes of fuckery.
Oh,
it's just what they're being booked at is okay, but who they're booking them with. Or let me put it this way: I feel like the storylines are not doing a decent enough job. I see potential in every one of these people we're mentioning.
Yeah.
And again, it's my opinion. Unlike King of the Smarks, what I say is not gospel. Okay. I'm not a prophesized person. It's just my fucking opinion because I do spend money on the product, and you know, I'd like to be able to have a fucking say so.
Yeah.
So with that being in mind, I just think that they are very fucking basic with a lot of shit I've noticed, to where I always, in the back of my head, I hear a chant. You're so basic. You're so basic. That's what I feel like people are saying to the people writing the storylines. Now, I'll give them some fucking slack.
Yeah.
It has to be extremely hard to write a storyline having to hear fickle ass fans give their fucking opinions when they probably are shit at their own fucking jobs and lives, possibly.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they still have a job that they have to do. They have to try and figure out what's a way can we add depth to what's being booked. And I just feel like it's half-assed. That's just, again, my opinion. What the fuck do I know?
I mean, King Lucky, Lacey Evans being rejected by the fans?
I don't know if she's being rejected by the fans. First of all, let me go back on a couple of points that Street talked about. Mm-hmm. She didn't have a significant push in NXT. She got injured for a little bit, and then ultimately they moved her up. But I will tell you that the way they have crafted her storylines and the way they have woven her into all the events that are happening right now, they did it perfectly. With the way that she came out, I mean, she got a lot of heel heat because she came out, she didn't do anything, she turned right back around, she went back, and if you look at her matches after, all these months, her matches have actually been very good. The only match that I didn't like with her and Charlotte, it was just awkward and they just seemed like they were just off.
Botched.
And I don't know if I put that on her. I might almost put that on Charlotte.
I'm not saying it was. Just saying it was the match itself.
But the spots, because if you looked at Charlotte the next night on SmackDown, this is like a couple weeks ago, she was also, botching moves and not, and just it was bad.
Right.
So overall, to me, I disagree with her being on this list because I think she's actually doing a very good job of selling the character.
Yeah, fans rejecting her. That's the list.
Well, that is the list.
Fans are rejecting her.
Yeah.
They're rejecting her till she asks.
I think they keep going.
Well, I would too.
Unlike with other people that we're probably going to mention, I think they keep going with her. And she's going to win the championship by the end of this year.
That would be a slap in the face.
Well,
but they've been known to slap us in the face before.
Be prepared to be slapped. She's going to win the belt.
That's sad. Hope it's the 24/7 belt. No offense, Lacey. No offense, Boo Boo. I just feel like you need a little bit more seasoning on that.
Right. Well, let me ask you, Sis City, now that you jumped in, it's being said that there are 5 pushes out there in WWE, and the fans are clearly rejecting them. And what's the story with that? We're talking about Lacey Evans now.
Just 5.
Wow.
No, in all seriousness, I mean, so I think that initially I was resisting of Lacey Evans, just because obviously there's the whole stigma of her appearance, how she looks, and how she lines up almost to a T with what Vince loves in a woman that he likes to push. So
From behind.
What's that?
Nothing.
But in all seriousness, as soon as she showed up on the main roster, it was talked about that she was going to be the one to take the SmackDown Women's Championship from Asuka. That was what I had the issue with, and I think that when those rumors circulated initially, that's why she was met with so much of a resistance from the fans.
Yeah, because that match between her and Asuka for the title, that was crazy. Oh, wait, it never happened.
It never did happen.
Oh.
It never did happen.
That's probably because Vince rewrote the show 2 minutes beforehand. But
or 3 minutes after it started.
There you go.
But no, in all seriousness, like I think that initially I was sort of pushing back on Lacey Evans's push. However, I mean, she was not successful in getting a women's championship or even a women's championship match until here very, very recently. So I think that since they've cooled down the push on her a bit, I'm okay with it. However, she is still very green in the ring. At the end of the day, you have to sit back and look at what long-term storylines that they're going for, and I'm saying that tongue-in-cheek 100%.
Yeah.
Because Raw, SmackDown, any of your main roster products, they don't have long-term booking in place. We've already said it multiple times. Vince will rewrite the script. In some cases, after the show has already started. So, I mean, it just comes down to them actually being flexible with the push on her. But I definitely see why people are pushing back on her, because I did push back on her at the very beginning. But I think that over time, she's somewhat grown on me.
I mean, Michaels, how can we get fans? Now, we know that she's a heel, so they should not like her, but how can we get fans to not necessarily reject her as liking her for her talent, not for the fact she's being a bad person.
Fuck the fans.
Okay.
I really feel like you really enjoy fucking the fans.
It is quite comfortable. No, there's the thing. She's a heel, and if I was writing the show, I would have, in fact, not used her for the ramp walk. And I think that's where a lot of this shit started, was the ramp walk.
Yeah.
I would have simply have done things like put her in the luxury boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And had her at ringside, in front row, and had her pulling up in like a limo and coming out, and like, what is she doing here? Who is she scouting? What is her reason for being here? Give it a little more depth to that anticipation instead of just walking out. And I think that's what really kind of got the fans on the boo train, because they just got sick of this. I thought it was great to piss the fans off. I mean, that's, and then as her in-ring work goes, she's green. But you know what? So is, all these other people that are coming up, they're green.
Right.
It takes a while to mold in. So, this whole idea of rejecting her just because, I don't know. I don't know what it is they don't like about her.
Right.
I can't direct it. I personally can't find the direction on that.
I will tell you that they should make it as despicable as possible, because on the other side of this, when she finally comes out and she does the face turn, she is going to be like huge. So I would continue to... Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on. I'm just making sure I get what you're saying. So she's going to win the belt within a year.
Yes.
According to you.
Yes.
And she's going to have she's heel now, she's going to have a face turn.
Huge.
When?
It wouldn't be any time.
Would it be after the belt?
It wouldn't be anytime soon. It'd probably be after the belt.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out.
But she's going to be huge because of her background and, her
she's a mom.
History,
she's a military
mom,
yeah.
and all these
all
things.
Right.
So
it's
I
not
think...
her character.
You said... It's
not her character.
It's not her character.
Hey, he's prophesizing. Let the man work. Go ahead. Continue.
The Swami of Smart speaks.
Yeah. The Swami of Smart. But I think, knowing how people are investing in the product and things like this, when it is time for her to flip that switch, she is going to be a huge face.
Okay. How about now our veteran, Brock Lesnar?
Part-time veteran.
He is part-time.
But he's full-time with that briefcase boombox all the way.
I mean, according to King Lucky, he's showing us a different side of him.
He's not showing us a different...
It's entertaining.
I was not here to hear that type of fuckery. Do you not remember when Brock Lesnar wore a fucking poncho and started dancing around with a mariachi?
Listen.
I'm sorry. That not even happened?
There are people...
There's been many a times Brock Lesnar has come out of his goddamn shell and acted really freaking goofy and showed us how he really can't dance, and it's a little uncomfortable to watch.
For me... Okay. Yeah, and there's a small amount of people, right? There may even be there is a market for what he's doing. And some people that will find that funny. I just happen to be on that side where I think him dancing, the boombox, all that stuff is hilarious to me. And it shows diversity in his character.
So, would you understand them why the fans would reject him?
Because he's fucking Brock Lesnar.
Well, listen. I mean, to be fair, they put Brock Lesnar, they put the company on Brock Lesnar's back. They first started with taking the Undertaker streak, right? Which a lot of people had, huge issues with. Mm-hmm. And then almost every WrestleMania, now he's been like that character at the end of the game, right? Where you got to face him. And then more times than not, you're not winning, right?
But he's no Seth Rollins.
Well, very true. But I think Seth Rollins beating him at WrestleMania was huge.
Yeah.
And so it's okay if he dances around the ring, but as long as they don't push him back down our throats and he's taking the belt and he's gone. But we all know that he's not doing UFC or anything else. So he will be in... I think he'll be around a lot longer, and he'll probably endear himself a little bit with the fans.
Sin City. Oh, go ahead, Simon.
I wasn't finished, but it's okay.
Well, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I do agree with the Smarkonomics.
Smarkonomics.
Yeah, no, Smarkonomics over here.
Okay.
I do think that Brock could represent a reset. So if you have someone with the butt a little bit too long, have King Kong come in there, take the freaking belt. He's going to do what he does. We all freaking don't like it. And it gives an opportunity for if you're trying to produce a face, you have an easy pathway. It's probably going to be some of the better storylines WWE could actually do, to be honest with you, and be successful with. I personally don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
This is the only one out of the whole list. I don't have a problem because how many years have we been screwed over by this same storyline? I'm used to it now. It doesn't affect me.
I don't know. You feel the same, Stan?
I'll tell you, man. It's one of those things with Brock where I'm torn because obviously he adds legitimacy to any sort of a program that he's with because of his exploits in the UFC and being a legitimate, bona fide, 100% badass motherfucker. But
he fucks moms too.
Of course, he'll fuck any damn thing he chooses.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Suplex City, bitch.
Right. But no, realistically, the Lesnar situation is one that we can't get around no matter what, because Vince has this gigantic hard on for the guy. So it's almost like what you were saying, Simon. I've gotten used to it. There's always going to be this gigantic albatross of Brock Lesnar, and the guy's going to be there for maybe half the year, and he's going to make an obscene amount of money. So we just obviously people see how few dates that the guy works. They see that he is a part-time guy, and he has a permanent rocket strapped to his back. So like I said, I understand the legitimacy, and that kind of stuff, but I can also see why fans are upset that he's getting such a gigantic push. But again, at the end of the day, WWE is a TV show written for one man. I'm serious.
Right.
It's written for one man. It's not written for any fans. Yeah. It's not written for anybody watching the damn product. It's written for Vincent Kennedy McMahon. That's just how it is. Yeah. And the sooner that people realize that and understand that, no matter how much they try to push this narrative of, oh, we like to put smiles on people's faces. Fuck that shit.
That's really good.
Thanks. But that's just how it is. And the sooner that people understand that, the more at peace with moves like Brock Lesnar that they'll be.
So, Michaels, Sin gave a pretty good explanation here, but I'll go ahead and ask you still, why keep pushing Brock if fans keep rejecting? I know the answer to what you're going to say, but go ahead.
Well, what is my answer? I want to hear what I was going to say.
fuck the fans.
So hold on. With that,
yeah.
If Michaels is done, so what you were saying is giving somebody something even though we don't want it. That sounds like consent, right? Does that maybe go into what we're going to talk about next about consent?
Okay. Go ahead.
Sorry.
You can edit that and put it in. I was trying to segue into the next topic.
Yeah,
it's okay. We still have
one more.
Yeah, still got one more.
Oh shit, we got another one. This.
Yeah.
I hate this whole topic. Oh my god.
Let's put it this way.
Hey, you guys can keep it short. Go ahead.
I want to.
Brock Lesnar, what are you gonna do with him? He's a tough guy. He's a made guy. So what, are you gonna have him fucking job out to fucking Ricochet? I know I just gave some of you listeners boners.
Right.
Easy.
He could do it.
Yeah. So
okay.
Whatever. If they reject him, fine. It doesn't matter. He's set. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Lars
Oh,
Sullivan.
Jesus.
Oh, that's what we had to
Lucky's
talk
boy.
about?
Oh,
He's the
man.
last one.
We should just let Lucky talk
All
about
right,
this shit.
so there's. Let me just kick this off by saying.
Oh, you actually have notes?
No, I actually don't. But I will say that if you wanted me to like Lars, right?
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, if you wanted me to like him, then build him up the correct way when he was in NXT. Okay, he was in NXT, and there was nothing happening there. You know, he was built as this monster there too. And then, for whatever odd reason, they had the mindset that they were going to pair him up with John Cena until a little thing happened before WrestleMania, and then they took him off.
A minor thing.
Yeah, a little minor thing, right? That happened, you know. They had some disparaging remarks about a lot of different people, Stephanie McMahon included, right? Now,
Because no one has those about Stephanie McMahon.
yeah. So now he's on TV. He beats the shit out of Lucha House Party every week.
That's boring
which
as
is
shit.
awesome. Yeah, it's so great. They even had the match at Super Showdown.
Did they?
Yeah.
It's almost
It
as
was a
great as the
snooze.
main card.
But there's no variety to his character. He can't cut a promo, which he shouldn't be out cutting promos. They had him cut a promo like 2 or 3 weeks ago, which was just god awful.
Oh, you talking about with the
Yeah.
nursery rhyme or some shit he tried to
Yeah, man.
do? You're not fucking Samoa Joe.
Yeah, and then not only that, but I mean, like, if you look at all aspects of this, could you ever take and say we're gonna turn Lars Sullivan heel or a face? Would he ever be a face? Could you add that diversity to his character? Braun Strowman, I could see it, but I could not see. I can never see it.
Why
with
could you
Lars
see it
Sullivan.
with Braun Strowman?
Braun Strowman? Has more charisma than Lars Sullivan,
He has more charisma?
without question.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, there was a period there where Braun Strowman was really getting over.
That wasn't charisma, dude.
Well, what is it? Just sheer brute force?
Look, everybody likes Godzilla, so why wouldn't they like freaking Braun Strowman?
Can you ever see him as a face?
Yeah, just like I see Godzilla as a face. You can go in and wreck a whole bunch of shit, and there's one person and nobody likes who's pretty big, and he goes and beats him up.
Can he cut a promo?
Braun Strowman or Lars Sullivan?
Lars Sullivan.
Fuck no. But, I mean, that's something I agree
Neither
with.
can Braun Strowman.
Yeah, but Braun Strowman, he doesn't really have to cut a promo.
Yeah, he breaks
can
shit.
say-
He breaks
He
shit.
can say,
I
well,
get it
here,
now.
hold on.
He's the real life Wreck-It
Hold on.
Ralph.
Here's the difference.
It's cool. I understand.
Here's the difference. He can say short phrases and be effective.
I'm sorry, I love the way you said that, though. You said,
These hands.
Right.
say really
And
short.
people got behind it. So, I mean, to me, you can adapt this theory where less is more.
Let's just go to the real fact of the matter of the article itself. And that is, this writer says that the fans are holding it against him what he said in the past. That's why they're not
I'm not
giving
even
him that.
holding it against him.
I know you're not, because you just don't fucking like
I-
him. That's
yeah,
why I said,
yeah.
let's go to the real core here of the actual writing, and that is the fans. And once again, the fans allegedly are holding this against him. So, therefore, you just do what you do with him because he's not going to get over.
Yeah.
He's setting that because the fans aren't going to let that go. So fine, you just let him go out there and beat the New Day Luchas, and you'll be fine. I mean, you know, you're saying it's boring as shit. Well, what are you going to have him go out? Go and beat Ricochet? Then you're going to be bitching, Lars Sullivan shouldn't have beat Ricochet.
Well, he shouldn't be on.
I think
the
it's
main-
funny
he
that
shouldn't be on the-
Ricochet is the first fucking sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
He needs you know what he needs? He needs to wear like a Power Ranger suit, get like Will Ospreay, have him wear a Power Ranger suit, get a couple guys in 205.
Ali. Yeah, Ali.
Yeah, Ali.
Oh,
and just have them all dressed like Power Rangers.
And who was the other guy? Seth Rollins Ali, the one that won the Battle Royal Super Showdown. What'd you call him?
Mansoor.
Oh,
yeah,
Mansoor.
Yeah, what'd you call him?
Mustafa Rollins.
Mustafa Rollins. There it is. Mustafa Rollins. I like
I'm
him.
pretty sure that the Saudi prince executed him right after the match.
Oh,
What are you talking
man.
about? What?
Let me go to the second topic on that. Oh, my God.
Actually,
That's called a segue, son.
That's called a segue. Okay.
so
Go ahead.
just
Pipe
really
bomb.
quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Really quick on this first article.
Go ahead, man.
The bullshit about it is this.
Okay.
If you look at it, these are all 5 heels.
Right.
Okay.
Right, of course.
It would be different if this writer, this intelligent writer that writes for Forbes fucking magazine, would have included a babyface somewhere in this article.
Hey,
Right.
hey, Steve. Do I hear a? Yep, that sounds like something that is Roman and something that is raining. Yep, that's exactly what I feel too. You're right. They missed the boat because the biggest fucking person that people complain about is Roman fucking Reigns.
Right.
There's your face, and there's your big problem.
Bingo.
You're right.
There you go.
I just don't understand why Forbes is legitimate with regards to wrestling. When did this happen?
They write sports.
I'm just wondering. I mean, shit. You know what? How do I subscribe to Raja.com?
Well, you simply get on your computer and go to www.raja.com.
Man.
Call for disqualification.
My God, there's a slaughter in here. I'm next to a masked man.
This is
and
about
I'm next to this guy here. I don't know who these guys are, King. What is going on?
And you got a guy over there talking about barbecue and another one dressed as a luchador with a mask on.
Lord. All right, y'all. Here it is.
Sherry Jarrett, man.
Wow, that was.
He's got a mask on.
And the other one looks like he doesn't even wash the product.
So this next story comes out of...
Speaking of Sunny Kiss. Oh, my God.
No.
Motherfucker.
And whoever the fuck, they're supposed to announce what's going on here.
He has more pauses than freaking Baron Corbin in a promo.
Man, y'all all sound like them.
Different
All of
versions.
them.
Like assholes.
All right. This comes out of WrestlingNews.co.
You mean it's not Forbes?
It's not Forbes on this one. Scarlet Bow has been the latest wrestler mishandled by a fan. She
was definitely mishandled.
She was grabbed
Yeah,
and somewhat held by a fan at the latest AAA event. And with the latest fans' misconducts over the past few weeks, like Ty Valkyrie being spit on by a fan and Allure being verbally abused at ringside, which Bully Ray had to, go have a talk with the guy in the back. And I guess ROH is still investigating the story on that. The question is, are fans crossing the lines at these shows, and are these promotions doing enough to keep their talent safe? Anyone can start off on that. What's your take, Simon?
All right. In this particular situation, if you've had an opportunity to watch the very short clip, I'm not going to point out that the gentleman, the Neanderthal, that pretty much had free reigns with Scarlet. And I mean, I know King Lucky was extremely jealous that this guy lived vicariously in Lucky's dreams and got a chance to get his hands all over her.
No,
But-
put that on me, man.
But
Yeah, no,
have you seen the latest
I'm just
cross promo? I don't want him coming after me, bro.
He ain't gonna come after you. He knows what's up. But look, the thing that I did not like about the whole thing, and it's linked to all those times that you've mentioned.
Yeah.
Security fucking sucks.
Yep.
You say the fans fucking suck? Security fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you why, because I used to work security, and at the end of the day, this is what I've seen at WWE events, and this is what I've seen at Impact events, is there's no communication between the person that's running the event and the security that's set in place.
Well, the security guard might be 85 years old.
No.
Guys, really quick though. Just this particular incident was AAA.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
So we gotta, I think in the States you're absolutely right. I think you're right in the States. And in AAA though, I don't know. I don't know what the promoters and the venues are. I honestly don't know. And what was really weird about it was
totally normal.
well, the guy, the way he grabbed her and held her,
Right.
he was holding her for like a setup for a chop.
Yeah.
It was just so strange.
It could have been a work.
No.
It wasn't a work.
Well, because Scarlet came out
Yeah.
with
Right.
It wasn't a work.
Yeah,
No.
it definitely was.
and
not
she
a
didn't
work.
even really notice until she watched the video for
Yeah,
what she
right.
said.
Right. Yeah.
The one thing I was going to point out
Yeah.
was the thing that bothered me a bit, whether it was a work or not, because now that I think about it, it did look like he set up for a job. But the dude didn't even do nothing. He only took like one step and then went back, like the security dude. I was like, damn, for real? That's what
Well,
we're doing now?
You know what's really funny, though, that you said that? What if the security guard thought it was a plant? Because, like you said, it is hard to tell. It could be
Yeah.
a work, right? What's really interesting, though, is that if you clicked on the link in this article to see the video, right when you clicked on the video and on Twitter, the person who posted this also had another video that had a fan smacking one of the wrestlers. Couldn't make it out who it was, but she smacks him on the ass as he's getting onto the onto the guardrail to jump back over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you
saw
know,
that video, too.
So there were two things that happened at one show where the fans are getting a little too into it. Now, again, what's interesting is I'm not familiar with Triple A's fan culture. So
Apparently
I
it's
wonder
hands-on.
I wonder if it's just not being controlled at all down there.
Well, let me
I don't
ask
know.
you this. So you go to a show, right? And I'm not making what the fan did okay. All right. But you go to a show, and is there a respectable amount of touching? Like if somebody walks by, you pat them on the back? That's
Well,
respectable, right?
No, and you make a good point, because I'll be real with you. We've all had an opportunity to go to shows, whether it be WWE, other promotions. And yes, when it is a male with a shirt off, I've seen women get rushing hands and Roman fingers all the time on male competitors up and down their chest all the time. Now,
Not just women, Simon. Come on, you.
okay, nah. There was that one time I ain't know. All right, the lights was low.
You didn't know.
It was a woman in front of me. I was about to touch her, and then I'm just playing. None of that fucking shit happened.
Yeah.
But my point is we do see it a lot with women,
Yes.
and I've seen even in WWE, some women have gone a little bit too far and tried to pull the Terry Crews.
Yeah.
And I've seen that almost up close. So, I mean, is it equal? Is it okay for females to do it, but men can't do it?
So, I will say...
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just
If
saying.
you've seen this clip with Scarlet, I mean, that clearly crossed the line. Because this guy was restraining her. Right? And we all think right now it's not a work, right? But that clearly crossed the line. I don't think you would have a male, in that other clip, maybe complain about getting slapped on the ass. What do you think?
It all depends on who it is. I mean, there's some people that have different boundaries.
And not only that, I don't think it's the padding.
Yeah.
I think as much as he was in the midst of jumping up onto the barricade to jump back over. If by chance she hits him a little too hard,
And he slips.
exactly,
Maybe breaks his neck.
something.
Or something. Yeah. Then
Yeah.
It's, but I think
that's I mean it. The thing is that if you're getting physical, or if you're doing like spitting on someone,
yeah.
I mean that's fucked up, right there.
Well, hey, I will just let you know, Scarlet Bordeaux on her Twitter responded, and I'm not gonna read the first one because everybody's probably already read it. But her second rebuttal, she said, "Look, what I wear is completely irrelevant. Could be a string bikini or a snowsuit. It doesn't matter. My body is mine, and you cannot touch me without my permission. Most fans I encounter are respectful, awesome people, and I appreciate you." So I think even though we are looking at things at different perspectives, I think what it does come down to is consent. Was there consent? And there is a line, as we know as fans, that we don't cross. You don't motherfucking cross the goddamn guardrail.
Well,
Yeah.
How many motherfuckers getting their shit pushed in with a foot up their ass until they get the shit right?
And what's really interesting too is that it all started these last 3-4 weeks. It all kicked off with the verbiage, confrontation that happened with ROH.
Yeah.
Now that's verbal, and with that, I mean, you can go either way, whatever. That's verbal. there was no physicality really in it, other than someone getting like a drink slapped or something like that. I don't remember what happened.
So in that instance, there wasn't like really any kind of physicality. The guy said that one of the members of Allure spat on him, which is excessive from a performer point of view.
Right.
But yeah, Taya Valkyrie slapped a drink out of a guy's hand after he spit on her.
That's what it was. Yeah. And then
So
that spitting thing was just
the spit
unreal.
happened first before she slapped the drink
Yes.
out of his hand.
Yes.
For that
Yeah.
instance,
That
which was
instance.
which
Yes.
was the week after
Gotcha.
ROH. So
Yeah.
then you had Impact, and that happened, and now you had this with AAA. What is ultimately it comes down to, which is interesting, is that you typically don't see it in the WWE for one reason, and that is they have security around them. And they've done this now since the Attitude Era, since it blew up and became a corporate company. So, we can say things about the actual security guards in house that are, at each venue, but in reality, the company should have some guys there, and if anything like that happens, get that fan to fuck out of there right away.
Let me ask you this. It's starting to become a bigger problem. How do you manage that? Because WWE clearly, they'll ban a person for life or whatever, but how do you manage this?
It's real simple. Have a meeting to where the only thing that you're talking about is what the security can and cannot do. Have them collaborate and work with law enforcement to where there's an easy protocol. If such a happens, this is what happens.
What about the fan?
Gives fuck with the fan.
No,
If you cross the
but
line.
what I'm saying is,
what
the
do you
fan
mean?
crosses the line, they get kicked out of the show for that day. But what happens on the next show? Because let's say if that fan comes
that's
in.
more of an internal thing. I see what you're saying. What's the due process afterwards? But that would be something that's dependent upon what the promotion wants to do, what the company wants to do.
Maybe you file charges against that.
Well,
that's
they
it.
can, but that's still going to be up. We're
it's
talking
all
about
legal.
total legal. We're just talking about ground zero. Ground zero, immediately removal, 86 them out, and whatever the NRS code is or whatever the heck statutes you got to say, get them out, put some paperwork on them, and that's what we do. Because at the end of the day, it needs to be a situation to be taken serious. Because we talk about WWE and how they have the resources to do this, right? But we also need to start looking at a lot of these other promotions too. Because you got to realize we've gone to some events to where there's been some people that damn near monopolizing the show, getting all crazy drunk, ready to come over the guardrail.
So should that person be banned from that venue?
Again, you're dealing with two different entities. You have, I'm going to explain to you how we do in security, okay? So when I worked for security for a casino, if somebody got 86'd out, right, and we 86'd them, it was the discretion of the casino if they wanted to make it be permanent, and then they have a protocol and a list that they put them on, or if it was just going to be for the day, and they tell them, hey, you're more than free to come back in 24 hours or whatever the case may be. If it got really bad, then yes, we would go ahead and have the right to detain you and wait for Metro to ensue and do what they got to do. So you have different entities once you reach a certain level.
Okay.
And so I just want to jump in here at the end.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
So my thing is this. You go to a show, obviously you are able to cheer, boo, heckle to an extent. And realistically, as long as there's no sort of physical interaction with any of the performers, I don't see an issue. Now, obviously, there's a gray area there. And I cannot speak for what was said in the ROH incident because I was not there. And for some reason, in the age of cell phones and video recording capability, everywhere that you go, there is not a single shred of video evidence on this guy for whatever reason.
Which one?
So, the very first incident, the one with ROH.
Yeah.
There's no video evidence of it at all. So, until it's seen exactly what was said and things like that. I mean, there's no, I can't really form an opinion on that particular incident. Except I will say this: you are a performer in the business. Your job is to get a reaction, whether positive or negative, out of the crowd. any sort of physicality from an audience member to a performer is inexcusable. Whether it's, we cannot go around and police speech when it comes to the crowds heckling wrestlers and things like that. We can't.
Yeah.
Because not too long ago, if anybody who's listening has been a wrestling fan for a while, I was at a show that, and I'll say the name of it, ECW Heatwave 1999 at the Dayton, Ohio Hara Arena. And if anybody's familiar with that one, that was the night that the Dudley Boys damn near started a riot. As they
Best fucking promo ever.
as no joke, Bubba Ray himself heckled fans in the audience, calling out certain people in the audience, telling people that, hey, you've got this woman over here who taught her daughter how to suck dick. And he dropped the inflammatory F word for homosexuals directed at somebody in the audience.
Yeah.
So I find it really, really interesting that we are 20 years removed from this, and Bubba Ray Dudley is the guy who takes so much offense, and he grabs this guy, this audience member, drags him into the back, and verbally berates him. Whatever happened behind closed doors, nobody knows.
He grew up.
No,
But
it's not even that. It's the same thing with Ice-T. You listen to a song by Ice-T talking about cop killer, and he plays the cop for how many years on TV?
So
It's a fucking strange world.
No, I just find it really funny that it's almost basically coming full circle for us in this time. The situation with Taya is inexcusable. No way in any form of mind, in any frame of mind, is it okay to spit on a wrestler, to physically assault a wrestler or performer, anything like that. That's bullshit. And I personally think that if you do that, then you should be 86'd and banned from that venue. Period. You should not be welcome back. Period. End of story.
I love when
Boom.
Sin City Steve gets so riled up.
All right. Well, let's get to our last topic for the night. And Steve, I'm gonna really need your help on this, and probably you, Simon, too, because y'all are
pronunciations mostly.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's probably gonna call one of them Yoshi.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. New Japan. The writer poses a question that must be looked at, especially during a recent event of a death in the ring of Silver King. Now, of course, the Silver King death had nothing to do with this particular article because, he passed away with a heart attack. But this has to do with the article, and he titled the article "The Disturbing Truth Behind New Japan Pro Wrestling." And the disturbing truth is, now wait for it, somebody is going to die in that ring. He lists, and he did a pretty good job in laying out why he feels that this could actually happen. He mentions Will Ospreay. Apparently there was a match, and he does a move where it looked like he battered his neck, and that looked like that could have possibly been the end of that. Kota Ibushi versus Steve.
Go, Steve.
Tetsuya Naito.
Thank you. That was
At least you didn't call him Naruto, because I'd have been upset, man.
Yeah, that's why we got you here. So apparently there was a match there where, again, another incident could have happened in the ring. That was happening. Young Lions, I guess he mentioned this group also, I guess, particular maybe had something as well.
You don't know the Young Lions, do you? What it is?
What's the Young Lions?
So Young Lions are the ones who are training in New Japan at the dojo.
Oh, that makes sense.
So it's a group of the younger guys.
Okay, yeah.
So that's how it relates to the article.
Thank you much. And then you have Kota Ibushi versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Did I get that right, Steve?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
you did.
Okay, and then they also mentioned Kenny Omega with Tanahashi.
Yep.
So
And
nevertheless,
that one you got like totally right.
For real.
Oh.
Omega. Congratulations.
you go.
You said Omega. correctly.
Omega.
so I mean, those were just. And he also mentioned, I guess, All Japan Pro Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Noah Ace Masahara Masawa died.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
Also,
Yes.
Okay. So what's been going on? He mentions all this and saying, "Look, man, it looks like the bottom line is what's happening." He's laying down maybe a good decade of what seems like possibly someone's going to get killed in this ring. What's up?
Yeah, so I mean, the unfortunate thing is high spot wrestling has turned into a game of can you top this? And that's, every era of professional wrestling has it to an extent where they like to push the envelope. And, you mentioned the Misawa incident in Noah. The thing that's really kind of will catch you by surprise is this. So he took a high angle back suplex, and the angle that he got dropped on his head and neck, he actually died because of, I think the actual terminology was internal decapitation.
Yeah.
But there's more to it than that, though.
There's definitely
yeah.
more to it.
Go ahead.
So obviously that was an incident that the latest Kota Ibushi versus Tetsuya Naito bump reminded me of, to be honest. And I genuinely hope and pray that, and I don't pray, but that neither of those guys wrestle each other again, at least for quite some time. They have a history of participating in matches where they like to drop each other on their heads. And the latest incident was involving, obviously, the two of them. They were on the ring apron, and Naito was going for a German suplex. It's been debated by Meltzer and Brian Alvarez what the exact outcome was supposed to be of that particular spot. But what happened was Naito went for the German, and Ibushi did not land on the apron except for his head and neck.
Oh, hell.
So, like, if you want to visualize this, he's being dropped back, but for some reason, Ibushi's looking backwards for whatever reason, which is prompting some people to say that maybe he was supposed to do a flip out of it, but he didn't get full rotation. Maybe Naito held on a little bit too long in the German suplex.
So one thing I got out of there, and I quote, he said he resembled the hang victim of capital punishment. Only nobody could see the rope.
Yeah.
End quote.
Yeah. It was
Wow.
it was fucking disgusting.
It was hard to watch. It was hard to watch.
To not mince words.
Yeah.
It was fucking disgusting. And that match was tainted because of that. It was a great match.
Yeah.
I think Meltzer gave it 5
stars, right?
Like 4 3/4 stars.
Okay.
4 3/4. It would have been a 5-star.
It would have been
match
5
if
stars, but
he
one of the
didn't break
guys
his
got
back.
dropped on his fucking neck. In all seriousness, though, I genuinely hope that those two guys never wrestle each other again, or
Right.
if they do, that they plan things out and do not involve any head drops. Something that I mentioned here in the 3 counts, maybe last week or the week before, I was talking about Will Ospreay and how he changed his style.
Yeah.
I love what he's done because he was known as the aerial assassin. He was a guy who would leave it all out in the ring, and he would be dropped on his head damn near every match that he was in.
Yeah.
And people in the wrestling journalism business, Meltzer included, said, hey, this guy's going to die before the age of 35 in the ring. And he has since, after taking some time off because of injury,
Sure.
he's come back and he has changed up his style. He's not doing nearly the crazy shit that he did before. Now, has he eliminated it completely from his repertoire? No. But he is making those spots mean more. And I think that is, to an extent, what we as fans need to do as well. We need to embrace these guys that do make this decision to take a step back and, not be as fucking crazy in the ring.
What I got out of that article, apparently these neck bumps are taken under the fighting spirit philosophy. A Japanese talent gets over if they show enough of it. So what do you do if that is the culture? I mean, it looks like New Japan management needs to get in there in some way and change something up, but maybe they don't know how or don't want to because, again, it's culture.
I think that, I don't want to say that we're too far gone, because I don't ever want to think that. But I think that if we start seeing the guys like Ospreay, like Ibushi, like Naito, reserve the big spots for when they actually matter.
Yeah.
Yes, initially fans will push back, and we need to almost see that coming. But we also need to understand that the reason why these things would happen, or will be happening, is to ensure the longevity of these performers and to ensure that something disastrous does not happen in the ring.
Yeah. Guys, anything else you guys think about this? I know Sin been doing most of the talking, but what do you guys think?
I've seen a couple of them. It is very sickening. Yeah, I have. I watch more wrestling now in the last 2 years than I've ever watched.
Okay.
And a wide variety. Yeah.
You got a hard sell me.
But to go back to this point where it's you're one-upping, the flippy shit as they call it, or the the high spots. It's tough to watch, because now the performer who is already probably not getting paid a whole lot of money is now being forced to do things that may put him out of his career.
Yeah.
And so, Will Ospreay is a perfect example. And it's crazy to me that Ricochet has never, and he probably has been injured to some degree, but he's never had a major injury.
Just wait.
Yeah.
When he wrestles Lars or Brock. Shit. Lars and Brock in a handicap match.
Match for the title.
Yep.
Yeah. But the trajectory of where this is going is in the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's happening more and more frequently.
Yeah.
It simply comes down to one thing: money.
Yeah.
The company's making a lot of money, and the fact of the matter is that it's up to the promoters to make sure that things are being done safe.
Right.
But when you're taking in money, look at ECW, man.
Yep.
ECW could have. Well, they did have someone die in the ring.
Ooh.
That was when the kid who was
mass transit incident.
Yeah, the 20-year-old
with
kid,
New Jack.
With
Right.
New Jack.
Yeah.
So it happened, and that didn't slow them down any.
I will say this: the mass transit incident. I totally see where you're going with that. The problem with that is that it wasn't caused by a wrestling move done in the ring. That was caused because of the negligence of one of the performers specifically. I don't want to go into the whole dissertation about that.
Yeah.
But I view that as being different than the head drops, for instance.
Well, yeah. But what I'm saying though is that even with a death, ECW still continued to do the hardcore stuff because that's where the money was.
Oh, yeah.
And I got a feeling that even if you had a wrestler die in the ring, you're going to have the same outcome where the money is going to top it.
Yeah.
And again, it's up to the fans. If the fans stop going, then they got to change the style.
Right.
The thing to think about too is, how many times have we seen clips from the TLC match series with the Dudleys and Edge and Christian and the Hardys?
Yeah.
Those guys were fucking killing each other night in, night out. how many concussions were, notched on the belt, basically, of each one of those guys, just from the clips that we saw. How many times have we seen the clips from the WrestleMania match between Mick Foley and Edge with the flaming table? Even in WWE, they are not exempt from from the can you top this type of mentality. Now, what it took on WWE's end was going from TV 14 to TV PG, and that instantly cut a lot of the violence out.
Let's be realistic, though.
Again, and I was getting to that. What pushed them to that point? Money, because they were losing advertisers.
Well, no, I'll go one step. What I was going to say is the reason that happened is because Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
Without a doubt. I mean, you've got things like the Benoit. Also, let's be real with this one too. The stunts prior to matches, WWE, they would bring people in on zip lines. How many times have we seen the clip of Shawn Michaels?
God, I love that.
I know it's amazing. However, he could have fallen.
Yeah.
Much like Owen Hart.
Yeah.
Right.
Who they also did a repelling type of a gimmick with.
Well, and really quick before Simon gets on here, the difference with that too is that repel was something that the Ducks used every single home game. So it was a system that was already rigged in place. I think Sting and Owen are totally different, story, because Sting actually was being rigged by the same guy who did all the WCW stunts. Owen, unfortunately, was not being rigged by someone who was in-house.
Right.
And,
right.
That was a tragedy, Simon.
Yeah.
I'm going to say some dates and fatalities by the decade. 1950s, 7 fatalities. 1960s, 7 fatalities. 1970s, 4 fatalities. 1980s, 5 fatalities. 1990, 3 fatalities. 2000s, 2 fatalities. And so far, we haven't had too many. But 28 in all. Do you know what sport that is?
That would be football.
Nope. Anybody else want to guess?
Golf.
Golf ball hit you that quickly, yes.
Baseball.
Nope.
No.
Soccer.
Nope. NASCAR.
Oh, yeah. That
So
makes sense.
the reason why I bring that up is because we talked about how the money is a big motivator. But I think also, too, that's a door that swings both ways. Not only so much for the money for the company, but also the people who take the risk. They know the risk that they're taking. And New Japan, it is part of the culture. They do train certain muscles to strengthen their neck, to take these neck bumps is what they're called.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the big question is will the culture be able to deal with the fallout? Or is it just a westernized way we view cringeworthy stuff? It might not even be the same take on the flip coin of it. I'm just as a question for people listening and for us.
Yeah.
The one thing for me personally is I don't want to see anybody get hurt. That doesn't have to get hurt. And unfortunately, I will be honest with you, I am starting to see a culture in wrestling that has to do with high spots, very dangerous, and it's a small percentage window that you just have to be on it. I mean, we talked about, I didn't talk about, but I think y'all talked about Ricochet doing his move and hit Cesaro on the knee.
Yep.
I mean, that doesn't happen all the time, and that man is almost flawless in performing his move. So again, it's going to happen again.
Right.
It's going to be unfortunate to watch. We don't want to see somebody die, but again, I think it's a risk that they signed up to take.
And incidentally, the latest incident that I was absolutely cringeworthy was involving Luchador Aerostar, who jumped off of a lighting grid 25 feet onto, for some fucking dumb reason, 2 guys. If you're gonna fall 25 feet onto people, make sure that there are more than 2
It
people
was
there to
super
catch you.
scary too.
And so he did not get the rotation. Evidently, he was supposed to do.
They caught him
some
in the
sort of-
waist.
some sort of flip,
Yeah.
and I don't know. He just didn't get the rotation. And yeah, like what you were saying, Simon, they caught him from the waist down.
Yeah, so he flipped down.
It actually, he almost did. He did basically a head dive.
You saw this yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the thing that was, cringeworthy.
Yeah.
But you know what the honest reaction of you guys, Lucky and Steve, was?
It wasn't.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which says a lot because
Where we've come.
So
well, no, but it is.
we're desensitized.
for being that desensitized.
Yeah.
Exactly. Look at Mick Foley going through the cage.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's no longer like horrible to watch because we
That
grew up
still
watching
gives
it.
me chills every
Does
time
it?
I
It doesn't
see
give me chills.
No, it's pretty bad.
I think and the other thing too is that with younger generations watching this stuff, it's going to become even more normalcized.
Yeah.
Normalcy is not necessarily a good thing.
Yep.
When it comes to people who are trying to make money,
Mm-hmm.
and then you growing up and wanting to do the same thing, and not realizing that the whole deal is about corporate money. Even though you love something,
It's a business.
it's a business. Exactly.
It is what it is.
Incidentally, as far as the Aerostar drop, somehow the guy didn't break his neck.
No.
He just walked out with a concussion, and was spotted in the airport wearing a neck brace. So just a minor just a minor setback. Evidently the guy was in great spirits after the match. He was laughing and joking about it, and
The most amazing thing about that too this always has floored me, is that you can do something like that, you can get taken care of, you can get a neck brace, and you're getting onto a fucking airplane.
Yeah, which is the
fucking
worst.
blows my
Yeah. Fucking turbulence
crazy.
is a motherfucker.
Not even turbulence, but now you're
Yeah.
talking like if there's anything in there that could possibly do a
Yep.
blood clot or something. There's so many different things
Yeah.
by going up in the air pressure. It's it's amazing that it's amazing we don't see more death
Yeah,
In
unfortunately,
in airplane.
yeah.
in airplanes.
Hold on. Why do you even ring that bell?
To tell you to shut the fuck up.
Oh, that's not the case. He kind of just looks at me and says, "Shut the fuck up."
I'm sorry, sir.
I like
just
the way
curious.
he rings the bell, but
I was just curious. I was just curious.
I apologize, Simon. Go ahead.
It's not a bad thing. I just want to know why you ring the bell.
Did you have something else you want to say?
No, I didn't have nothing to say. I just wanted to know, why did you ring the bell?
Because that's actually the end of the 3 count.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in that case, no, I got a lot of motherfucking things to say. No, it's fine. We're good, man. We good.
Well, hey, good discussion, fellas. We're going to keep it going because we have interviews next with Watts, Super Panda, and Slice Boogie. Now, they're not going to all be on the phone together. We're going to have separate interviews, but it's all geared towards the big event going down in Los Angeles at the Ale Works Brewery and Tasting Room, Saturday, June 29th. And what's the time? Is it 7 o'clock?
There is it looks like 7 p.m.
Okay.
is the general admission door, is 6 o'clock VIP.
Right. And we're going to be there. So by this time next week, we'll be on the road heading to LA. So hopefully we get a chance to see you all. And
On Monday?
no.
Yeah, this is Friday.
Yeah, this is Friday.
Oh, that's that time machine you talking about. That shit is cold, man. Damn. I got it.
88 miles per hour, baby.
That's right.
Check that flux capacitor.
So yeah. So with that, we're gonna get with these interviews, and that is that. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll be right back.
Hey, Vegas Bad Boys podcasting listeners, this is Matt Michaels, and I just want to tell you right now, Los Angeles, you better be fucking ready, because the Vegas Bad Boys are going to be in town on Saturday, June 29th, 2019, for the Bumps and Brewses big pro wrestling event at the Los Angeles Ale Works Brewery and Tasting Room. And that is in Hawthorne, California. Now, usually we're here in Las Vegas, but because of the good, wonderful people at Bumps and Brewses, we are going to be there doing a special show for VIP ticket holders, which is going to be fabulous. If you jump on Eventbrite right now, you can get tickets for VIP. It's $50. Now, they go quick because there's not a lot of seating available, but with these tickets, not only do you get to hear a show with us and some special guests, but you also get early entrance. You get a seat in the brew pit. You get meets and greets. You get a Bumps and Brewses t-shirt. You get one free pre-game beer. How about that? Pre-game beer. You have to be 21 or older to get that beer, though. And, of course, you get the live taping with us, which is worth the $50 by itself. Then you get all that other stuff. And I'll tell you, on top of that, and if you can't afford the VIP, I understand, $50, pretty steep. But you can come to this show for as low as $20 and see Brian Cage with Melissa Santos right there by his side going against East Coast's own Slice Boogie. And guess what? It's a double main event, which you're going to see the Lucha Homies, and they have a mystery partner. So Mariachi Loco and Little Cholo, we don't know what they got planned, but they're going to have a big surprise apparently, because they need something to go against hate. And I'll tell you right now, Tito, Rico, Che, they're ready to take these guys down. So something's going to happen, and this looks fabulous. You know what's really fabulous? Right here. Volcana versus Buggy Nova. These guys, these two women are fabulous, and they have a death match basically going on here. It's a gripe, and something has to give. But on top of all this, we get another tag match with Super Panda and Eric Watts finally tagging together. They've never tagged together out of all these years, but they've wrestled each other many times, and now are finally teaming up to go against Luke and PJ Hawks. That's right, father and son tag team. There's some other great action on the card too, and of course, I gotta say it, card is subject to change. And all ages are welcome, but to have a beer, you do have to be 21. So we're gonna see you on Saturday, June 29th at the Bumps and Brewses Pro Wrestling event. Again, it's at the Los Angeles Ale Works Brewery and Tasting Room. You're going to love this place. They got some amazing beers. You can't go wrong. Get your tickets now because they are going to go fast. Go to Eventbrite and look up Bumps and Brewses and get your tickets as soon as you can, because come June 29th, if you don't have a ticket, you might not get in. And that's not good for you. That's bad for you. We don't want you to feel bad. We want you to be good. All the love.
This Monday, June 24th, Boulder Station, Kicks Lounge. Be there. Now back to Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. We have our special guest on the phone, who's an independent professional wrestler out of Los Angeles that go by the name of Watts. Watts, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm actually. It's funny. Like right now, I'm at my very first Renaissance fair.
Really?
Okay.
And so like it's kind of wild for me. So like today's actually the finale of Game of Thrones.
Yep.
Right.
We're waiting to watch it.
I got into maybe like 2 months ago, and I'm here at the Renaissance Fair, and I'm seeing a oddly it's interesting how many how the lack of Game of Thrones costumes I'm seeing. Like it's I figured like it's at a Renaissance Fair, which is like the nerdiest shit you could ever fucking be at. And then it's the finale of Game of Thrones, and like I'm seeing like I've seen maybe like 4 costumes in Game of Thrones, which is kind of
Really?
disappointing a little bit.
Damn.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot.
That's because everyone's it's because everyone's at home throwing Game of Thrones parties.
Right.
I'm sure everyone's like nerding out at their own
If
place.
you really like Game of Thrones, you'll come to the Renaissance Fair and then watch the finale afterwards. if you're about that life, like I am.
I just want to cut somebody's head off.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's pretty
Which
awesome.
has got to be weird too, because you're standing at a Renaissance fair with a cell phone. So wouldn't they be looking at you like,
Hey, you
Dear
know what?
sir.
You know what? It's better than having a Starbucks cup just sitting on the table.
sure.
Yeah, Starbucks up is lit though. Think about it though. Like if Starbucks existed back then, that it would be utilized for sure.
It would take
Yeah.
over the wine aspect of Game of Thrones. That's what it would be.
Right.
Yeah, who wouldn't want Starbucks? Like that's like such a good thing to have.
Hell
like,
yeah.
I'm not mad at it. I mean, I get it.
so who do you have winning the throne?
You know, I think the easy answer is like Daenerys and Jon having a standoff, but I feel like Arya is gonna have like she's gonna wear one of her masks, like the mini face god mask, whatever, and she's gonna take out like. Okay. Here's my prediction. I feel like here's my whole thing. I feel like Daenerys or Jon's gonna have a moment with Daenerys where he's gonna like renounce like his allegiance to her because she leveled the capital,
Right.
and he's gonna be like, I'm not down for you anymore, and she's gonna be like, oh word, and he's gonna be like, yeah man, I mean that, and then she's gonna be like, okay then Dracarys, right? So she's gonna try to burn him, but the homie's a Targaryen, which means he's not gonna be hurt by fire.
Exactly.
So what's gonna happen is she's gonna try to burn him, and he's gonna be naked but fully intact. And she's be like, what's going on? And then from behind, Arya Stark's gonna be like, here's a knife in your back, and that's gonna be it.
Stab, stab, stab. Kill, kill, kill.
That's my prediction. That's my prediction.
So hold on. Watts,
Yeah, that's
I
my
gotta
prediction.
ask you a question though, okay, man? Because
Go for it.
I watch Game of Thrones and I read the books. You said you got into Game of Thrones 2 months ago. Did you like binge the fuck watch out of Game of Thrones up to this
you
point?
have no idea. You have no idea. I turned down wrestling bookings so I can catch up.
Wow.
All right. So I gotta ask the question. All right. So when you binge watch shows and you have a goal in mind, obviously the season, right? What is your go-to to keep you motivated, whether that be energy drinks or snacks or whatnot? I mean, what was the motivating consumption that you had going?
Honestly, like my motivation was just wanting to be caught up to everyone else.
Got you.
I'm not a big, I try not to like partake in like a whole lot of stuff. So like I wanted to just be like, how bad did I want it? And I wanted it badly. So let me just watch, 5 at a time, whatever it was, 4 at a time, like hours out of my day.
That's a lot of hours, man.
It is.
I didn't really drink any energy drinks or nothing like that. I think just the excitement kind of got me through, and like, I mean, there are a few episodes where I was like, this is kind of boring, but like, I got through it. The trick is like, I skipped past the opening like credits.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
And then I skip past the after review thing that they have, and just kind of just watch it that way. But yeah, man, it was hard. I mean, I struggled. Like I woke up next morning just not enjoying life. But yeah, man, I got through it. I'm sure I missed a lot of stuff because I binged real hard, but I got through it pretty good, and it was a lot of fun.
So which death touched you the most?
Which death?
Yeah, which death touched you the most? You was like, God damn.
So I'm someone who enjoys like a quick start.
Mm-hmm.
So then when I saw Bran get pushed out a window, I was like, oh boy, they're killing kids in this show. This show murders children. That's wild. but he didn't. But he didn't die. He didn't die. So that's cool.
Right.
But then I saw old Ned get decapitated.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh boy, we're doing that. Like that dude got built up. He got. So I feel like I'm late to everything. Obviously, like I remember seeing posts from this like 6-7 years ago. Like, oh boy, I can't believe that happened in Game of Thrones. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's dumb. And then I watch it. I'm like, oh, I get it now. I understand why you guys are tripping out because the main character got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Ned was the main character for that season, and he got his head cut off. So I'm like, holy boy, they don't care.
They built him up so big when the
built him
show
up
first
huge.
started. Like it was all about him, and he just got his
He
head
was,
locked on.
he was Roman Reigns.
Yeah, he was Roman Reigns.
He was Roman Reigns, man. Like that's what he was.
He
And I'm
was-
like, oh boy, you can kill off, you can kill off the big dog like that. That's messed up.
Yeah. I mean, he was all over the posters and everything. I mean, you would.
Oh, he was the guy.
He was the guy.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what got me going. I was like, oh hell no, they just didn't kill Ned. Nah, this is some bull. This is And I was sold
boy,
from there.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Well, see, I read the books, and I'm not a snob like a lot of people. You know, I appreciate the art as a different telling of the story. But yeah, you know, I would say the Red Wedding kind of had me a little bit like, that's just some fucked up shit. I had to have a drink. I thought it was like family that got killed. When I saw that,
Yeah.
I was just like, damn, that's cold.
Couldn't believe it.
That's crazy.
Well,
Could not believe it. And Sansa had to watch too, man. That was rough.
Yeah.
so speaking of bloodbaths, let's turn our attention to what has been your favorite bloodbath in wrestling.
My favorite bloodbath? Well, one of my little known facts, but I was trained by Gangrel.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, he's one of my trainers. He's like, if I had to credit one person for training me, I would give the credit to him.
Mm-hmm.
I know he has a school down in Florida now. I think what it's called. I think it's called like Gangrel's Academy or something like that. But back when he trained me, he was at Knox Pro, which is in Burbank, and I can't answer that question without being really, really biased. So I'm gonna say my favorite bloodbath is anything involving Gangrel.
Makes
Nice.
sense.
Because-
One of the best entrances,
because
I say, in a while.
Well, I
Oh,
agree.
it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Coming
good.
out from the fire?
Yeah,
I mean, that's fucking awesome.
Oh man, he's a man.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a man.
Yeah.
He's a man.
And it is Gangrel's Wrestling Asylum.
Ooh, I like
That's
that.
what it is. That's
Asylum.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. The asylum. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what would
that's what it is.
what would you say? Because I mean, Gangrel is absolutely one of the smartest minds. What would you say is probably one of the most important things that you took from him?
So he told me, whatever I do it 110%. So even if it's a match that I don't really like, or like if it's a gimmick I don't want to do it better than anyone else can.
What was the worst?
Because-
What was the worst gimmick then that you've ever had to do?
Honestly, I've been lucky in the fact that I haven't had to do a whole lot of bad gimmicks. It helps being a 6'5" black dude. That helps a lot
Yeah,
to avoid the bad gimmicks.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, like it's not so much the gimmick. It's more like wrestling dudes who I don't feel like are up to par with me or anybody I wrestle with,
sure.
and having to like put them over and all that stuff. Like I'll put anybody over, but I feel like there has to be a level of competency and like training that should be a part of that. And sometimes I question some certain dudes' training and like what they've done, been able to learn in training. So I think the hardest part was just having to work dudes who like in my early days, like having to work guys who I wasn't sure if they were fully trained or not. That's been the hardest part.
And I mean, have you progressed in terms of now that you're obviously a veteran now, you've put in a long, nice life into your career, and you're definitely one of the most known guys around LA, that's for sure. So do you find yourself now being more of the example, and are more guys willing to listen to what you have to say and the input you have to put into matches?
So I definitely feel like when I speak, people listen because I don't try to interject myself into a lot of people's stuff. But so when I came up, it was during a time where lots of dudes weren't willing to help the younger guy and stuff, and like they're trying to they saw younger guys as a threat, and they didn't want to kind of share the spotlight or whatever. And my thing is, if this is a younger guy who's like worthy of the spotlight, then give it to him.
Yeah.
Like I'm not seeing a huge need because that's gonna hurt the business. If you're holding down someone who's really good and really talented and has a bright future, then you're hurting the business.
Right.
And I've always been about the business over me. Like the business will survive longer than I will, and the business is more important than I am. So I definitely wanted to, take my steps and my actions that would benefit the business. So like, you're guys like know that about me, and like, I don't like to interject. I don't like to give unsolicited advice. Definitely don't do that. But when people ask me, I will tell them what I think, and I don't pull any punches. I tell them how it is. I tear them down first, and then I build them up after. Let them know what they did well after I told them what they did bad. And man, like I want the business to succeed and thrive. And right now we're in a great time where there's lots of work. Lots of dudes getting signed, and like it's really good for the fans because like there's like shows on weekday nights and stuff.
Right.
So it's like it's really good. Like right now is the golden age, man. Like people are gonna look back at this time, like 10 years from now, and really realize that this is a golden age, and they got to be a part of it.
Gotcha. Hey, Watts,
Yo.
I'm also going to paint a picture for the listeners as well, but, I'm going to go down the quick line of all of your championship accomplishments, CPW Tag Team Championship, IWL Tag Team Championship, IWL Anarchy Champion, NWPW Tag Team Champion, PWA Championship. Now, out of all of these championship and accolades, which one would you say kind of holds dear to you?
I don't put a lot of stock into title wins because they're just props. Like for me, like I look at title wins as kind of like the promoter or the booker, whoever's running the show, like kind of like almost a reward, or like they kind of see the work you're putting in. They kind of that's their way of appreciating it. So that's kind of cool. But if I had to like answer that question, like if I had to say like one, I would say the tag team titles. So I cashed in the PP3, the PP3 Cup for. I cashed that in on the tag team champions and beat the tag champions by myself.
Wow!
And became the tag champions on my own. This was like I think 2 years ago. I think it was now. So I want to say like. If I had to say one, I would say the tag titles, the United Wrestling Network tag team titles was probably the biggest title one I had.
Okay.
Just because it was a tag team championship and I'm one dude, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, man, like I don't get hung up in wins and losses and like belt wars and all that stuff. Like, because ultimately, like it doesn't matter. What matters is the connection you make with the people, and if you sell merch, and if you like. People believe what you're doing, like that's more important than wins and losses to me.
Gotcha. So with being, I'll say it. You're definitely your specialty is tag teams. I'm sure you can do a lot more. What are some tidbits for And I know you say you don't like to give too much advice or whatnot, but for people coming up that are interested in either they're already part of a tag team or whatnot, what are some things that you would say are some good starting tips for getting that kind of locked in and working on the sauce per se?
I would say if it's in particular to tag teams, keep the action hot and fast the whole time. Like don't slow it down unless you absolutely have to, because it's in 2019. Like fans are used to like bang 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 bang. They don't really want like as far as like the bigger shows go. Like they don't really want like slow development, stuff. They want like, let's get to the point, let's get to it, let's go fast, let's be athletic, let's be clean, let's be crisp, like let's do it, So I think for tag teams, like keep that with that in mind. I would think, when you're planning a match with someone that you don't really know very well, maybe like yield to them, your goal is to make the other person look good. If every wrestler wanted to make their opponent look good, then I feel like matches would be 100 times better. But what happens is you get too many guys who only care about themselves and their shit, so like the match hurts because dudes think that their stuff matters more than a match does, and that's not the truth. What matters is the entire show. So if you go into a match with the mindset that I want the show to be good, which is what I do. Like you can look at like my most recent matches. Like I do like 2 or 3 moves a match. Like I'm all about getting the other person over, because if the other person is over, then I can get over, because that's how wrestling works. And like lots of dudes don't realize that. They want to hit their spots and like not really care about the show. And I feel like that hurts the show. That hurts the promoter. Like the chances of that show surviving, mostly for a long time, isn't really there because wrestlers aren't thinking in terms of the show, they're thinking in terms of themselves. So any wrestler like this coming up, put the show before you. That's like advice I can give. Put the show before you.
And speaking of shows, I know we are going to be lucky enough to be doing a live recording on June 29th for the show for Bumps and Brews.
Oh, you guys going to be there?
Yeah, doing Bumps and Bruises. And,
oh, sick.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna do a little pre-show at an hour before the doors open to general admission. We'll do a show for the VIPs, and we know that you're gonna be tagging with a guy that you have some experience with, Mr. Super Panda.
Super Panda, that's right.
What is it like working with him? Because we're gonna be talking to him coming up here. He's going to be on the show, and he's just one hell of a great worker. What has been your experience, and are you looking forward to doing a tag match against a father and son duo as well?
Mm-hmm.
So I have never tagged with him. I've only worked, opposite sides of him,
right.
And from what I've gathered, is he's really solid. I think he's been around a while. I don't know him super well, but I know he's from Miami. And I don't know how long he's been going, but he seems very seasoned. It should be fun because so our opponents for that show are Luke Hawx and his kid, PJ. So Luke Hawx. The thing about Luke Hawx is I've known Luke Hawx for about 9 years. I met him on a. Are you guys familiar with Bob Saget?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Full House and all that stuff.
Danny Tanner.
So, that's right. That's him right there. So Bob Saget had a show on A&E like a while ago called Strange Days with Bob Saget.
Right.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Remember that one? So I was on that show with Luke.
Really?
And I was on the show with Luke, and Roddy Piper was there. That was actually the last time I saw Piper. Was that show actually?
Wow.
And it was on TV and stuff, so I was able to record it, thankfully.
Yeah.
So that was cool. But Piper was there and Luke was there. I met Luke there, and we had a match, and he was like being difficult to do shit with. so I'm like, come on, man, like, let's go. I'm the big boy, bro. We have some fun, do some stuff. But he's being a little difficult, so I'm gonna see. So I wrestled him again in maybe like 6 years ago, and at this point, he was like, his body's like just changed. He's like super like jacked and ripped. He's really good shape.
Yeah.
And I was in better shape too, and like we had a really good match right there. And like I feel like I gained his respect there. So I think our next match we're gonna have at Bumps and Brewses will be better because we both are kind of like the kings of our territory at this point. So
right.
it'll be fun to kind of like to mash styles, because I've been lucky enough to get to wrestle in other countries and stuff, and he's done his thing. He has his company Wildcat in New Orleans, and that's a huge company that's doing really well and stuff. And so like we're gonna have an opportunity to wrestle each other after 6 years. It's been 6 years since we've touched, so 6 years. And I think we're going to pull out some shit that we haven't done before, so it's going to be good.
And at this point, too, you're now wrestling a guy who's been in a Fast and Furious movie, so...
There you go.
That's it. He was in Fast and Furious. He was in, wasn't he in Logan, too?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So Luke's been doing some stuff, but I'm gonna get in his ass, though, so I hope he's ready.
So what was it like with, you got instant notoriety from appearing on Tough Enough.
Yeah.
Was it because at that point in your life you're still younger now, you have a nice little time frame to look back. Do you think that if you would do it again now, knowing what you know now, would it be any different? Was the experience good enough for you, or do you think you would have done things, maybe a little different?
So a little known fact about Tough Enough was that I had a back injury at the time, and I wasn't gonna pull off the show because who would pull off Tough Enough,
Right.
So I had to take 3 weeks off from the gym, And 3 weeks doesn't sound like a whole lot, but for as rigorous as that training was, like 3 weeks is a year.
It kills your cardio.
You know? So,
yeah.
Your cardio is done after 5 days. Your cardio is gone.
Yep.
So that kind of screwed me over a lot. I managed to survive pretty long. I made it to top 7 out of 14.
Right.
Which is pretty cool for someone who wasn't where it should be. But I would do it. I would do it again. Like if they called me today, I would do it tomorrow. You know, I would do it.
And how
it was a great time.
How I mean, you know, and it's a weird balance because you like, you know, being in Tough Enough, obviously you're in a reality show, but at the same time you're still in a physical competition, and yet you're still like training in wrestling. It's like it's such a you know, just a mishmash, almost like a, you know, a thrown together stew of so many different things. Was it weird, you know, having producers there basically, you know, getting a taste of what reality shows are really like, and that is, it's reality in the sense that we're using your real names and we're using who you are, but we're going to produce this into certain avenues. Is that something that, you know, was mind-blowing to you, or was it something that you were, you know, kind of aware of going into it?
So going into it, I thought it was a legitimate competition.
Yeah.
But what people didn't really realize at the time was that, okay, so there were so the dude who won the show was actually signed beforehand already. He was already in a contract. The dude who they had two people in the show who were already in a contract. Andy Levine, which is the guy who won,
right,
and then Christina Crawford, which is Alicia Fox's younger sister.
Right.
They were both under contract. They were both under contract. So like, I think what the producers didn't count on is the fact that I watched FCW at the time and I knew who everybody was. So they didn't count on that shit. So, but like, I kept it to myself. I didn't really talk about that during my audition or whatever. But like, once I started talking about it a whole lot, I was like while we were already in the house and, you know, on the show, I was like, you guys are signed. Like, I'm not dumb. Like, you guys are not like here right now. You guys already have a job.
Yeah.
Once I started doing that, I got eliminated. The next episode, I got cut.
Right. Yep.
So the producers were like, "Oh, he knows too much. You got to get rid of him."
Yep.
Yeah, that's how it goes, though, man.
Pandora's box.
Pandora's box, man.
Yeah.
But I got to be true to myself, though. I'm not gonna like sit there and let people who are signed win contract. You know. Ultimately, he won, but it was like, no, it's like I definitely spoke my mind about it. I got cut for it, but at least I spoke my mind about it because that was bullshit.
Yeah, gotcha.
So hey, Watts, I got 2 questions. The first question is, I'm looking at these ring names. You've already mentioned one earlier, Jason Watts, which you said was your brother, your older brother name.
Yeah, my older brother. Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I see some other names listed. Big Nasty. Can you confirm that? Okay. Now the last one, I wanted to find out, because, you know, I'm looking up things, and I was like, all right, there got to be a story behind this. It's called, your ring name was The Sex. Am I reading that correctly? Because I really want to know what's the story. Go ahead, man.
So The Sex, I'm not too sure how that got out, but that was more of an inside joke with me and some buddies. I think what happened was someone must have been like drunk one night or one day or whatever, and like kind of just put that on my Wikipedia or some shit. Because at no point have I been introduced as The Sex. Not even once. But it's like, so when I saw that, I'm like, wait a minute, what? Like, how is that there? Like, I thought the world was shrinking, you know, in front of me, but no, I've never gone by The Sex at any point. I've never been The Sex.
Okay.
That's kind of an inside joke with it. Yeah.
I just love the fact that if you, you know, if you know that it was an inside, that you haven't really.
I saw that. I want to get rid of that. I don't know how to get rid of that.
Don't get rid of it.
But like,
don't get rid of it, man. Don't
I'm
get
just
rid of it.
surprised you didn't just go into Wikipedia and change it, man.
It's there. It's there, man. It's there.
It definitely stuck out. That's for sure. I was just thinking, like, I don't even know where to begin.
Well, it's better than having an actual sex tape leak out.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, hey, my second question is more of a segment that every once in a while these guys let me ask interviewers. I have a segment where I ask the interviewers, it's entitled an oh shit moment. Now, I'm going to give you a quick little second. Think about a time in your career, inside, outside the ring, where you've experienced something that you have just been left speechless, like all you can really mutter is, oh shit.
So one of my dudes that I started in the business with is he used to go by Ricardo Rodriguez. He was Alberto Del Rio's ring announcer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And we had a match. Did you see that? We had a match, and he gave me a spinning back fist, and he like knocked me out like in the match.
Ooh.
And like I didn't like fall on the floor or anything like that, but like he hit me so hard that like I didn't know where I was, and I didn't know what year it was. I didn't know anything. That was my only time I ever felt that in my life. He gave me a spinning back fist, and I didn't know what I didn't know anything, and so I was like, oh shit, where am I? And then they came back to me, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm wrestling a match right now. Oh shit, there are people here too. It's not training. This is an actual match. Oh shit, I'm wearing my tights. I'm wearing my gear. I'm in a match right now. Oh boy. And then yeah, so I'm all screwed up, and then I just start giving him forms like, bro, where am I right now? Like I'm like hitting him. I'm hitting him as I'm figuring out what's happening.
So were you asking him questions? Or were you working it out in your head where you're at, or were you kind of slipping in as you were?
I gathered. I know that I was at a wrestling show, so
okay.
I was in my gear, and there was a crowd there, so I figured I was at a wrestling show. That's so loud. Oh my God, shut up. But yeah, I was at a wrestling show, so like I like put that together, but I don't know where it was or like what year I was in or the time or anything like that.
Wow.
So that was something else. Yeah, he like hit me so hard, like I saw a white flash and heard like you know when like a radio isn't in fully tuned, right? It's just like kind of sounds like just a weird like
a buzz sound.
Sound.
Oh,
yeah,
like
yeah.
underwater, like underwater.
That's what I heard.
Oh,
hit me
damn.
so hard. I heard like not real sounds and stuff. So
shit.
Yeah, but that was it. That's the only time I was all shit. The rest of the time I've been pretty cool. Like I don't really fluster too easily. So like, but that time I was like, oh boy, what's my name? Where am I? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
So did y'all have like a conversation after? You know, I mean, I'm sure there was some dialogue because y'all know each other.
Yeah, no, we talked about it after. He was like, I'm so sorry, dude. I'm like, it's all good, man. I was like, maybe next time don't actually hit me really hard.
Right.
Maybe if you're gonna give me a spinning back fist, pretend that I'm your friend.
You know? Right.
So that way you won't murder me, you know?
Yeah.
But no, it's cool.
I got you. All right, man. That's definitely old shit. Dude, you didn't know where the hell you was at. I thought when you were describing it, as you were giving him forearms, you were kind of on the sly communicating when I thought of like when parents give ass whoopings to their kids and they swing the belt and says, "Where in the hell am I?" That's what I thought. But I mean, yeah.
I mean, I did do that, but I still didn't know where I was. Also, like I don't know. You're saying words, but I don't know what you're saying.
Wow.
Well, we glad you're okay from that, man. That sounds like a
Thank
pretty
God for that, man.
crazy ass situation.
So
It was wild.
who would you say in the wrestling business right now would you consider like a mentor to you? I mean, who was the one that really you could point to and say, hey, this person took me under their wing and I'm so glad that I had their advice?
It's not so much a mentor thing. If I had to say one guy, I'd say Joey Ryan.
Okay.
Joey, he runs bar wrestling and all that, but he's also like doing well for himself. But he's always like believed in me, even from the beginning, and he's always had my back, from the jump, and he's always like stuck his neck out for me and stuff, and like. He's always taking care of me. So, like, if I had to say one dude who's been on my side the whole time, I would say Joey for sure.
Now, being in the the Southern California area, did you cross paths with Chris Daniels?
Oh yeah, CD. I wrestled him. Let's see. I wrestled him 8 years ago. I guess 7 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago, and then I wrestled him again in January. This past January.
Nice.
And they did I wrestled SCU, the whole group.
Okay, yeah.
And they did the whole thing with the entire AEW roster. So it was a bar wrestling show.
Okay, yeah.
And it was a match. Yeah, it was me and the Rock Nest Monsters, Yuma and BHK.
Okay.
Versus SCU, and we were whooping their asses and shit. And then Joey got involved. And then I was gonna hit him with a chair, and then Hangman Page came out, took the chair out of my hand, and then me and him had a little squabble. And then he left, and then Cody came out. Cody Rhodes came out, and Randy Rhodes came out.
Nice.
And then I kicked Cody Rhodes in the head real hard. After that, and then I was gonna like beat the shit out of Brandy, and then the Young Bucks came out, and then they super kicked me, which was bullshit. And then I got up, and I whooped both their asses. And then I went to get them both at the same time, and then them two and Rick Knox gave me a triple super kick.
Oh.
So Rick Knox is the referee, if you don't know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And those three guys gave me a triple super and took me out, but that was January. So yeah, man, I got to work with those guys, and they're real good guys, man. Like I've known CD for a long time, and he's a good dude.
Yeah, it's interesting because I mean I trained in Southern California back in the early 2000s, and almost every one of us who have been through, Southern California's wrestling has either crossed paths with Chris Daniels or crossed paths with Navajo Warrior.
Navajo, that's my dude.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah, Steve's great.
That's the guy, yeah.
So it's amazing that, it's like, you're in your way now building yourself up to, you're becoming one of these guys like Chris or like Steve, where you're now at the point where you're growing a reputation and people are looking up to you as, being an elder statesman. Without the elder part, that's so funny too, because, age is just a number, but you have that experience, you have that knowledge. Do you think that you see yourself, starting to maybe move into, at some point, a training role where you can pass on a lot of your experience?
At some point, I would like to move into a backstage position. Honestly, I wouldn't be supposed to move into that role now.
Right.
Like, I want to keep wrestling and all that stuff, but like, it'd be smart of me to like, start learning it now while I'm still able to perform.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely kind of tested the waters as far as like people who would be interested in like having me come on in that role. So I got asked to be a trainer like years ago. I turned it down because I didn't feel like I deserved to do it or I was ready to do it.
Sure.
But if I were to be approached about it now, I would definitely consider it strongly because I have a lot of experience and knowledge and stuff that I could share. I could teach all these guys, don't make the same mistakes I did. Don't do some shit I did. I mean, or do it, whatever. It's cool. It's. I just think it's important for young guys to have like someone that they can look up to. Oh boy, you're loud.
It sounds like they're getting stabbed.
So loud. Someone that could, let them know, like, hey, I did this. You can do what you want to do, but this is what will happen if you do this certain action. Because I didn't really have that coming up. I didn't have that person to tell me not to do stuff. I kind of made a lot of bad decisions on my own. But like, I would definitely like want to nurture the scene because it's better to nurture the scene than to hurt it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I hope. That's how I roll.
Makes sense. Hey, so Watts, kind of looking, if you will, 5 years going into the future, just in thoughts. What's some things that you would like to see with the landscape if you were to make like a wish list, per se? What would you like to kind of see that would just, really just tickle you pink, per se?
I would like women's wrestling to continue on the trajectory that they're on, because I feel like there's lots of quality women that wrestle, and they deserve a platform to show the world that they're good. Like, for instance, like Tessa Blanchard, for instance. She's one of the best wrestlers on the planet.
Yes,
she's one of the best
I
on
agree.
earth. She's top 5 either gender. Like, she's like one of the best in the world.
Yep.
But she's a sweetheart too. Like, I got to wrestle her a month ago, and she's great, and like she deserves all she's getting. I would want more like kind of equality in wrestling. I would prefer that wrestling keep growing. Maybe like indie wrestling will be able to like penetrate different nights of the week, not just the weekends.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it does happen, but I would like for it to be like more regular. You know what I mean? Like, I would prefer like wrestling to be every day of the week.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to be in every show, obviously, but like it'd be nice to have like it'd be nice to have wrestling every day of the week, because wrestling is wanted every day of the week, you know?
Yeah.
So it's more, honestly, like, also it's more wrestling, more of it. That's what I want.
So, you brought up a good point, and I think this is something, with equality, that it's interesting. The WWE's sort of moving a little bit towards the intergender very slowly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, do you think it's just that old school mentality and almost that chauvinist mentality of, well, girls aren't equal, that was holding it back for a while, and now we're starting to see that the women are...
They're raising the bar.
Yeah, they're raising the bar. I mean...
They made it in WrestleMania, man.
Yeah.
So do you think that, that eventually what we'll see is maybe the split of, a men's division, a women's division, and, start being able to have stories and, champions that, maybe the world champion in, let's say, ROH one day is, someone like a Tessa Blanchard. Do you think that might be somewhere we're headed within the next, 5-10 years?
Well, so your question is, are you saying, like, do you think women can challenge for men's titles later on?
Yeah, like, will that blend finally just kind of mesh in, and instead of having, this is women's division, this is men's division, now we just got, this is wrestling.
So I think WWE, like, we probably won't see a woman as WWE champion, like maybe never.
Right.
But as far as like maybe ROH, like I could see someone like Tessa winning that title one day. She'd be a pretty good underdog type of fighter, but I don't really see WWE moving to the intergender like WWE champion model. I just don't see it.
And do you
due to the fact that like WWE is very mainstream, and
right.
like lots of its biggest supporters are conservative people.
Yeah.
Bingo.
And they don't want to see they don't want to see a woman on top, which is unfortunate, but that's just how it is. And I feel like WWE would lose a lot of money if they were to put a woman over, like, let's say also too, like WWE has a lot of like gigantic muscle dudes too. So like,
true.
It's like then you run into the problem of like believability. Like, I'm not sure like a Charlotte Flair could beat a Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? Like it's just, you have to make sure it's believable. Like if they were to get someone, if WWE were to get someone who's like an Olympic, like a woman who's a powerlifter, who's a gold medalist type of thing, then maybe I could see something like that happening. But I just don't see a woman holding that title ever.
Here's a weird, and now that you said that, and I've never really thought of it in these terms. Is it weird though that we can conceive that someone like Rey Mysterio could beat someone like Kevin Nash?
Yeah.
When you said Charlotte Flair and Brock Lesnar, all of a sudden my mind just started going, and I'm like, you know what though? I think Charlotte could actually hold her own and maybe beat Brock Lesnar.
No, this is not about her ability. Charlotte is top 10 in the world. Like, she's definitely one of the best that is alive today. It's more about a believability. Like, if Brock Lesnar were to like clothesline her once, like, she'd be sweet. You know what I mean? Just because she's small, she's not huge. It's not about the gender; it's about the size.
Right.
She's like she's like, for me, yeah, she's like 120 maybe.
Yeah.
And Brock's like almost 300 pounds. Like, Brock's twice her weight. If he closes her, if he gives her a big lariat, she's dead. Like, if Charlotte happened to be a man, if Brock were to give Rey Mysterio a lariat, like, he'd also be dead. You know what I mean? But I feel like there are ways to build a match to where it's believable with intergender wrestling. I've done intergender wrestling, and intergender wrestling is fun.
Right.
But there are ways to do it to where it's believable. But as far as like the WWE champion, realm, like you need to be like among the best on earth as far as being able to hang with anyone ever, like any human alive. So like I don't see like any like woman right now at least being able to like hang with Brock, because Brock is a freak of nature, or like you know what I mean? Like it's not a gender thing. It's more like because most women are like not really big.
Right. Yeah.
If you were to get a woman in there like a Nia Jax, like I could see Nia Jax hanging, like holding her own, someone like that, or like Awesome Kong holding her own, But like lots of women, lots of dudes are bigger on TV. So like you need a woman to be like about that size for the casual fan to believe that they have a chance to compete.
Right.
Well, let me ask you this question, Watts, because I agree with a lot what you're saying, and even taking it just in general. I'm gonna throw a little shot at the WWE. They've struggled at times of sometimes booking believable outcomes in matches. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I will say, would it also be advisable for a lot of these companies to put as much stock in? Okay, so we think of what the ROH title or the WWE title. We're talking about the company standard, right? The person that has that is carrying basically the company on their back per se. Would it be smart in mind with the women's title to look at it with that much credence? As
they should do that. I don't know why they're not doing that.
Because I always wondered the same thing myself. It's like you had these women. I'm just use WWE because it's more recent. You have an awesome main event WWE, right? And right now you got Becky 2 belts. We'll see what happens.
Becky 2 belts. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. But I'm saying like the next level in my mind creatively was what's a way that we can now put these both belts into prominence, as this is is the same expectation as if you had the WWE Championship or the Universal Championship. Like really put it up there, because if someone's stopping me and saying it, then why do we call mid card titles? Do you see what I'm saying?
It is as easy. It is as easy as putting them on last every show.
Yeah.
That's true.
If you let them close the show, then people will see them as a bigger deal. It's easy.
Yeah.
Most of the issues with WWE have a simple solution. Like all you do is put the girls on last, and people will buy it.
Very good point.
Ronda Rousey closed. She ended many UFC shows. She closed a lot of shows.
True.
And no one thought twice about it.
Yeah.
Like there have been many UFC shows where light heavyweight closed the show. No one thought twice about it. I mean, small people, women, whatever, cruiserweight, they are viable, main eventers.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to WWE to look at them that way, but we can only do so much.
That's true. I hear you on that one, man.
But like Becky Lynch was like she the top, Like give her the spot, give her that spot. Like she only won 2 belts. She running both shows. Like give her that spot. She's earned that spot. That's her spot. She earned that. So like. I don't know. They have this thing where they want the dudes to be the top, but sometimes the dudes not the top. Sometimes the girls are the top, and that's all right. And it needs to become more normal. They need to let girls be on top. That's okay.
It's a beautiful thing when you let them get on top. I say,
yeah.
You get a better result. I'm just saying.
Yeah, man. I just feel like if you're fighting, my whole thing is like, don't fight nature.
Yeah.
And if nature is saying that the top in the business is a woman, then that's the top in the business. Let it happen.
I agree, 100%.
It's all good. It's all good. You know what I mean? Let it happen.
So Watts,
that's all love.
Watts, what would be one thing that people wouldn't necessarily know about you?
Oh boy, I better not say that on the radio. Well, I'm a big nerd, I guess I could say. I'm a huge nerd. I'm at my very first Renaissance fair right now as we speak. And I've been a little bit real into Star Wars, real into like Marvel, MCU, all that stuff. Real into video games.
Awesome. I'm a huge gamer.
I like. Oh yeah, my favorite drink is tequila. I'm a tequila guy.
Oh.
Yeah, it's my shit. It's my shit. I got one. One time, during Tough Enough, a little story that didn't make air. John Cena had a match. It was the match with R-Truth, Capital Punishment.
Mm-hmm.
and Cena was supposed to be in DC, but we filmed Tough Enough in LA, and Cena came out and he made us all steaks.
Shit.
He made us all steaks, and we stood in a circle eating our steaks, and then once our steaks were done, he pulled out a bottle of he pulled out a big ass bottle of Jack Daniels, like a huge one, like a big one.
Wow.
And then we had and then we had to pass the bottle around until it was gone. And the bottle couldn't stop moving. The bottle could not stop moving, right? So, mind you, at this point, people were already eliminated, so there wasn't a ton of us left.
Mm-hmm.
So we kept passing the bottle around until it was gone, and I kid you not, John Cena took more Jack than anyone else by far.
Damn.
By far pulled more Jack than anybody else did, and he had a main event at pay-per-view the next night. He came on a Saturday night, got faded with us in L.A., went to D.C., which is 3 hours ahead, and the main event a great match for R-Truth. That's the kind of guy he is.
Damn.
Man, you know,
wow.
he was one of our trainers back at UPW, and I wished that we would have had the steak and whiskey training night, because that sounds like amazing, man.
Shit, I want a steak and whiskey right now.
Good. So good. Steak and whiskey, man. That's the way to go.
Damn.
Oh, man. So, do you have, outside of Bumps and Brews, do you have anything coming up? Any events, any dates to plug, any website? What's going on with you that we can have listeners look into you?
I have, let's see, I have Bumps and Brewses on the 29th or something.
Yeah,
what is it?
June
I don't know,
29th.
29th, 23rd. Something like that. And then I have Bar Wrestling on June 30th. Actually, no, May 30th in Baldwin Park. And then I have Championship Wrestling from Hollywood on the 2nd, June 2nd, free TV taping. And then, let's see, I have Bumps and Brewses, and then Bar Wrestling again, and some other stuff I can't talk about yet, but I got a lot of stuff coming up. I'll be at the Double or Nothing in a week.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'll be over there, so if you guys are there, say what's up.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be at StarCast. We have a vendor's table, so come on by and say hey, man.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there on Saturday. I'll be there for the show.
And then, hey man, if after the show, man, I mean, if you ain't got to hurry up and skedaddle back,
I'll be at the SCU party.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
got you.
SCU party.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Show up to that. We'll do a shot.
All right, got you, man. I'm down.
Yeah.
I'll even do tequila.
Awesome.
No, only tequila.
Okay, I got you.
Well, Watts, hey, thanks, man, for chatting with us tonight. What is the best way for folks to reach out to you, check out these dates and other information you may put out?
So the best way is on Twitter. I'm at Darth Watts, like Darth Vader, but Darth Watts.
Darth Watts.
And then on Instagram, I'm Eric Watts LA.
Okay.
So I'm also on Facebook. I prefer IG or Twitter.
Sure.
Either one of those is fine.
Okay.
I reply usually to everyone eventually. But yeah, man, like that's the best way. IG and Twitter. Eric Watts LA, IG, and Darth Watts on Twitter.
Awesome. Well, again, man, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man.
Hey, no doubt. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hey there, Matt Michaels here. I just want to let everyone know that the Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting are pleased and proud to announce that we will be starting a monthly podcast live at the Boulder Station Hotel and Casino right here in Las Vegas. It's going to be on Monday nights, the last Monday of every month, and our first one is in June, the 24th at 6 p.m. at the Kicks Lounge at Boulder Station Hotel Casino with our special guest, Kenny King. That's right, ROH's own Kenny King and Las Vegas's King King is going to be with your Vegas Bad Boys at the Boulder Station Hotel and Casino. Now, the show will be us and Kenny talking about his life, his career, things you might have never heard about him. We'll talk a little wrestling, and then at 8 p.m. Pacific time, we'll go right into watching Raw. That's right, WWE Raw watch-along party at Boulder Station Hotel and Casino. You can't get that anywhere else here in Vegas right now, just with us, the Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. And guess what? It's free, open to all ages. And yes, we like to curse a lot, but on this case, we're going to hold it back. So if you want to bring the kids out, please feel free, because it's a family-friendly environment there at Boulder Station Hotel and Casino. And I'm telling you, it's going to be one heck of a good time. So please start spreading the word. Tell your friends, because it's a nice little lounge and seats are going to fill up quick. You're going to be able to order dinner if you'd like, get some drinks, have a good time. And guess what? During Raw, we'll be handing out prizes. So bulk up a little bit on your WWE trivia, and maybe you might go home with something nice. Boulder Station Hotel and Casino is located at 411 Boulder Highway, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89121. And it is at the Kix Lounge. That's Kixx. And we can't wait to see you. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to get a chance. If you have any questions for Mr. Kenny King, ask him right there live as we record the podcast at Boulder Station Hotel Casino's Kix Lounge on June 24th at 6 p.m. Don't miss it.
Meltzer is a journalist. Well, we're just the entertainment. You're listening to Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
I'd say today we are the Bad Boys of Panda casting.
Oh, I like that. Well, let's get to our guest. Let's see what that comment means. Now, this particular guy is making a rise in the indie scene on the West Coast, and he's got a big show. A big show we've been promoting now for a while. We'll be promoting till the actual day of the show. It is Saturday, June 29th, Bumps and Brewses, and it will be at the Ale Works Brewery and Tasting Room. On the phone, we have Panda. Panda, how are you, man?
What's happening, guys? We are living the dream, making it happen, and rocking and rolling.
Yes.
Nice. So, I guess the first question with you, brother, is what are the origins of the Super Panda character?
Well, growing up as a kid, I was always a big fan of the Attitude Era. And I just got really upset as a kid when they changed the F to an E, because there was a big lawsuit with the there was a big lawsuit with the World Wildlife Fund. So they sued WWE and got them to change the F, and I realized that the World Wildlife Fund's logo was a panda, so it's kind of as an FU to them. I was like, well, I'm going to be a wrestling panda.
Wow.
Because fuck you, right?
I love it.
But then the character started evolving, and it became more of like a Wolverine-esque, where, like, what if instead of giving Logan a Wolverine gimmick, the X-Men gave him a panda gimmick? So, like, I'm a hairy, cigar-smoking, whiskey-drinking son of a bitch that happens to have a panda gimmick instead of a Wolverine gimmick.
That's awesome.
That's got to be one of the most brilliant fucking creative things I've ever heard.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Well, the coolest thing is it starts from a seed that you were really pissed off about when you're younger. And, and that's the thing. And then as you started doing it, as you become a wrestler, it's still in the back of your mind, and it becomes this character. And then you evolve the character past that and it's still actually a fuck you to have a cigar smoking, whiskey drinking panda.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's fun.
What would you say is the psychology that goes into, because a lot of times guys like Steve Austin, for example, he's still Steve Austin. He walks down the street, he's Steve Austin. But with you, you've got to get into a little different mindset and a whole different persona. Is that something that, how do you hype yourself up for a match?
Well, I kind of just turn the volume up on, like we all have little voices in our heads that say egotistical and cocky and overconfident things, but we're civilized enough to not, listen to that inner voice. I just kind of let that inner voice take over a little bit and just turn up the volume on being kind of a wild and unpredictable. And I think the yin yang is funny, where it's like a character that's a good technician, a good like fighter,
right?
But like it's a panda. Like usually panda gimmicks are comedy gimmicks,
right?
And I'm not doing any comedy. I'm just whooping ass.
I mean, you know what? In some ways, that's reminiscent of what Shark Boy kind of did.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I guess the question we had here from King Lucky, who couldn't be with us today. How long have you been in the wrestling business, and where and who did you train with?
So I trained in Florida with a guy named Soulman Alex G and actually Norman Smiley.
Nice. That's right.
They were my trainers. I did like backyard wrestling like from '92 to '96, and then then I went to high school, and then I graduated in 2003, and in 2003 I went to wrestling school. So I wrestled from 2003 for about 7 years. And then a lot of crazy shit happened, and I stopped wrestling for about 5 years and just worked in like martial arts and fight choreography for films and stuff. And then once the business became viable again and became where we were allowed to be creatively free, I threw my name back in the hat, because at the time, towards my first run from 2003 to whatever. Like I was in developmental. I was training at developmental when it was in Florida, when it was outside of a baseball training gym. It was Steve Kern was running it. We were in Tampa, Florida, and it was the only two guys without a contract was me and this other guy named Scott Commodity, and it was great. And then the Benoit thing happened, and OVW closed down, and they moved all those guys over to Tampa, and fucking, it just became this nightmare where they were asking us to pay $1,000 if you didn't have a contract to train there, and I was like, dude, I'm eating canned tuna and working at Valley Total Fitness, like I can't afford no $1,000 to do shit. I can't afford to pay attention, you know what I mean? And they were only signing like second and third generation people, and nobody from the Indies, and so a couple of years of that and the business tanked, and now it's okay to obviously come from the Indies and to have crazy characters and get over somebody like an Orange Cassidy, who's a badass working in a completely different style, wouldn't have existed back in the early 2000s. So once I saw that trend's changed, I was like, okay, I could now express myself and be a proper artist and get after it.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on the Orange Cassidy thing. Yeah, definitely a great gimmick.
Yeah.
So, out of curiosity, what kind of passions do you have outside of the ring?
I write comic books and screenplays. I still work in that field. I do a lot of work under the mask in the cinematography game. That's always been. I just love storytelling. So any kind of storytelling, I love. To me, comic books, and a lot of wrestlers have gone on and written comic books, because I think that's CM Punk wrote comics, and Raven wrote for Spider-Man, and I think Punk wrote for Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it's the same thing. I think professional wrestling and comic books and film is all just different types of storytelling. So I just love playing in all those sandboxes.
What would you say your favorite aspect of the creative process is? Whether it's in wrestling or in film. Like what is your favorite part of that process?
For me, it's the coming up with ideas, the brainstorming part. Not so much the execution, not even afterwards when you get to enjoy it. It's the more like sitting in a room and coming up with ideas of possibilities. What about this? What about this? I just wrestled over at the Rogue Wrestling show. I did a strap match with Killer Cross, my first ever strap match. Woo. And it was amazing. And the lighting for Rogue Wrestling, the production of it, they filmed that on cinema cameras. And so being able to be like just pretty much the what do you think about this, like where anything is possible before anything is set in stone, when you're just spitballing ideas. That's the funnest part, collaborating with somebody and seeing hearing the crazy ideas that they could come up with and putting my ideas in there, and then some weird grows out of that, and then you get to see what happens.
And Cross is a great guy in terms of something like that for a first strap match.
you couldn't ask for a better collaborator, because I know he's a guy who will listen and will contribute back and forth, and he won't just take over. With that being said, what do you think is like one of the most like craziest or most fun creative ideas that you've ever had? Like, what is, is there something that you've been a part of, or a match that you've done, or something you've worked on even film wise, that you think is like this was the best this was an idea that was gold. I loved this. It was so much fun.
Oh man, there's a lot of great times where sometimes it's fun just to do crazy things that I'm never going to be able to do anywhere. Like I think in bar wrestling, they booked me against Kikaturo, who's amazing comedic wrestler, but like what am I going to do, So I ended up like using like I did a magic trick. I pulled a cane out of, like I turned the silk into a cane and then bashed him with it. like that wasn't actually like I wouldn't know if that's like the best thing, but that's one of the craziest things I've done. The best kind of storytelling I love, like at the last Bumps and Brewses show, I got to wrestle this dude named McCall, a Scottish guy, fantastic athlete, MMA background, and we're able to tell a dramatic kind of story. So that felt like a high watermark. And actually, the stuff I did with Killer Cross last night at Road Wrestling was some of the best stuff I think I've done too, where we really got to tell this fantastic dramatic story of like Wolverine versus Hulk kind of thing, where I'm not going to stay down, but I can't beat you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to keep coming regardless. I felt like that was really, really cool.
Do the fans feed off of that feeling? Do you feel like you get the, the storytelling that you're doing? Do you think that the fans actually take that in terms of it being conveyed where, like you said in your mind, Wolverine versus Hulk, which is a fucking fabulous setup in terms of if you wanted to, paint the picture, that's a beautiful way to paint it. Do you think from the feel of the audience last night, do you think that you guys achieved what you were seeing in your mind?
Yeah, man, I definitely feel like they were there and they felt it. And I think the secret to making an audience care is empathy.
Yeah.
If the performer feels something and cares, then the audience member will also feel something, and you'll share that empathy. If that's why they say, have fun, because if you're having fun, the audience will have fun. Like Stone Cold, who would go in there, he believed everything he was doing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
In his mind. So I think if you do that, you'll get if you're feeling something, the audience will also feel something. So they were definitely there. It was a fantastic feeling.
Nice. You mentioned Bumps and Brewses. The Bumps and Brewses that is coming up on June 29th. You're getting a wonderful opportunity to do your first tag match with Watts. And I know that Watts and you have a little bit of history. You've been in the ring together. What brought this together as being a pairing for the first time? And you're going against the Hawks boys, dad and son. So, I mean, what brought you guys together, you and Watts, and what is it going to be like taking on, the Hawks boys, man?
Mm-hmm.
Well, dude, first of all, I love working at Bumps and Brewses. The vibe, the whole beer thing is fantastic. They always have great quality matches, great ring work, fantastic fans. It's always always get fantastic. I always have great opportunities to wrestle somebody outside my box or in different styles.
Yeah.
I wrestled Sledge there and McCall, and I had a singles with Eric Watts. What happened was, me and Watts, we went to war, and afterwards there was a great mutual respect. He got me a beer. We shook hands. He's one of those dudes where you rather have him on my side than against me. And when I realized I was wrestling the Hawks boys, as you put it, I needed to bring those are big boys.
Yeah.
I'm scrappy, but I ain't 6'5". So I feel like if I bring some muscle, and Eric Watts is badass, nice guy, and we're gonna politely beat him into a bloody pulp.
Oh man, politely.
Well, I know the back body drops are going to just be that much more dramatic as you're going 9 feet into the air. Holy shit. With that, getting a beer, was it a shoot beer or a work beer?
Oh yeah, shoot beers only.
Where do you see yourself going? I mean, you're building a following on the West Coast for sure. Do you see yourself, I don't want to say, because you've been at it a while, you took a little break, but you have been at it a while. Do you see yourself wanting to, go to, maybe Ring of Honor with the gimmick, or, an Impact, or even AEW, or I would love to see Vince take a Panda.
That would be awesome.
That would be fucking amazing.
Yeah, right.
We teach those World Wildlife Fund bastards a lesson.
Yeah. I don't get it, but this is brilliant.
Right.
Fuck it, pal.
Yeah.
Oh, we'd love it. Yeah, man. That's that. I would my ultimate. I have two main goals in professional wrestling. That's get a contract from a company that I respect, whether it be ROH, AEW, New Japan, WWE. I also want to do that to shove it in the fucking face of a bunch of people that think I won't be able to.
Nice.
That might have issues with me.
Yeah.
Because that's always fun, right? Frank Sinatra said that the best revenge is extreme success.
Yeah. Right.
So I got a gigantic chip on my shoulder that I'm going to cram it in people's mouth. But I would, and because of my knowledge of production and stuff too, I think I'd be an asset all around. I think, and I would enjoy to tell fantastic stories at any one of those companies. But we'll see. Either way, I'll keep plugging away and doing my thing. I've been lucky the last 2-3 years. I've had a string of good matches. I've had a lot of opportunities. Guys like John Hennigan.
Yeah.
And Ty Valkyrie, and watching, helping me out and teaching me a lot of stuff. Because wrestling, you're always learning. It's like martial arts. You're a white belt forever.
So true, man. Hey, obviously, you mentioned your successes in the last couple of years. Take us back a little bit. I did see that you competed for the 01 Max promotion in Japan. Any kind of story associated with that, or how was your time there?
I think, I don't think that was me. I think that was like an Ultimo Panda or something. I think so. Yeah, there's a few pandas.
The internet lies.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to take credit for that. One of my goals is to wrestle in Japan and to wrestle in the UK. I've wrestled in Korea, in Guam, and Venezuela and stuff, but never Japan. I think that was Ultimo Panda. It was awesome, by the way.
Nice.
One of there's a couple pandas in Mexico. I think, and he's he's making. I mean, I'm better than him, but he's making the rounds. A lot of fans I'm seeing on Twitter have this dream match where they want me versus Sammy Guevara.
I could definitely see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that'd be really cool once he once he gets his head out of his ass. That'd be a good matchup. I'm just kidding. No, I love Sammy. He's like, he does shit that I'm never gonna. My ass doesn't like being over my head. I just like to kick and punch and make it work.
Yeah.
Speaking of guys you worked with, Luchasaurus.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this again was King Lucky's input. He definitely wanted to get this answered. You guys have had an interesting history. You guys have been friends. You guys have been foes. You faced each other, several times. What makes for great chemistry between guys as rivals and then also guys as partners?
Well, me and Luchasaurus always had a fantastic chemistry together. It's like the yin yang, the big jacked body guy, and then like the little guy. But he did a bunch of flips and kicks, and I did a lot of like power moves and suplexes at the time.
Yeah.
So I don't do that I only did that kind of stuff usually with him because that you would think it'd be the other way around, and that was kind of fun for us.
Yeah.
But then in facing them, you know somebody's, what they have in their arsenal, what tools they bring to the table. So they usually makes for good matches because I know the shit that he does, and he knows the stuff I do, and that's a huge advantage. Especially in the wrestling ring.
Does it also help with? I know with him in particular, one of the most fascinating things, is that he is so fluid with his motions.
Yep.
He doesn't do anything that isn't intentional. It's coming from, a character-driven point, and it's fucking brilliant. So does that kind of help when you're working with someone in the ring who, you guys can call a match, and that your hip toss can lead right into the next thing without worrying about, because sometimes you'll see that with big guys, they totally, there's that stumbling moment, something looks awkward, or they're just trying something that, it's
a lot of big guys can't move well.
Yeah, it doesn't fit their style. With him, it's amazing how fluid he is. And is there another wrestler out there that you've come across that is either big or small that has that kind of same chemistry with you?
Well, with Luchasaurus, if you look at the stuff he did in season 1 of Lucha Underground, he was moving completely different, right?
Yeah.
We worked together for 2 years breaking down. We have this thing we said fight stance, where I would make sure that he stayed in a fight stance and move around the ring while staying in a fight stance. It's how what boxers use to cut off the ring.
Yeah.
So what it does is that makes you take less steps, less happy feet, what we call it, right?
Right.
So we broke that down, and then we worked on all the kicks, got all the kicks down, and he's such a pure athlete. Like, I'll show him a couple things, and he'll go and talk to somebody else and get a couple other pointers, and then he'll go drill it for 15 hours a day, every day until he gets it. I mean, he's doing gainers, backflips. But we spent a long time working on getting the movement fluid. The stuff that we learned from Norman is what he learned from Dean Malenko, and Dean Malenko, in my opinion, is one of the smoothest people ever.
Definitely.
As far as who I could have like that dynamic with, anyone who has a heavy-handed style would work well with me, because I have a heavy-handed style. Like, when you see a Quentin Tarantino film, you know that that's a Tarantino film. When you see a Wes Anderson film, you know it's Wes Anderson. When you watch Orange Cassidy wrestle, that's a very specific style, right? When you're playing Street Fighter and Blanca versus Guile, those are two different styles. And in WWE, everyone's, for a while, it's changed since, but like in the early 2000s, everyone did an arm drag the same.
Right.
They tell you not to chop this way or punch that way, and then, so it all looked like one kind of fighting.
Right.
But anyone that has a very distinct, strange style, like a Luchasaurus who would do all the crazy kicks, versus with me, it's always going to look good. Or an Eric Watts, here on the 29th, Bumps and Brewses. Eric Watts has a certain style that mine being different now works together, like when something salty and sweet.
Right. That's a great point. Now, just listening to you talk and just what you said, have you thought and have you seen your way? Because I mean, being a booker is one thing, but I see that the perspective you're talking, because I come from a film background, is you're talking cinematic, and that's what I love to hear. Have you thought about possibly, trying to get onto, something, any of the startups that are doing production, where you would actually be an on-screen producer of, vignettes, segments, an agent, that type of thing, because your vision is very, like, you're painting a picture very, very clearly, and we're just talking,
Right.
Have you ever run into that or considered that? Because I think that, between your writing and your vision and your creativeness and your skill, it's almost like the door is right there for you to just fucking kick in.
That's kind of what we're doing with Rogue Wrestling. The president of Rogue Wrestling is Corey DeMyers. He's a stuntman and a filmmaker and a professional athlete, and we work together to develop Rogue to specifically pitch for television. I think the Young Bucks inspired a lot of those motivations, and the business being as hot as it is, and our contacts within the business.
Right.
So that's actually what we're trying to do with Rogue Wrestling, is to kind of bring an actual option, something that actually does look different, but still feels like wrestling. I think like Lucha Underground went too far the other direction. Maybe it's still too early to tell with AEW. They're still doing kind of a WCW type of presentation, a more traditional wrestling presentation with amazing performers, which is really, really cool. It's just a good time for the business. So yeah, we're working on that with Rogue. Rogue only does tournaments, so like it's kind of interesting to be in that to work in that tournament game.
Yeah.
No one's really exclusively doing that, and it makes it so that we're not competing with anybody. It's just we want to use people's talent from other promotions, put them in a tournament, promote their shows, and vice versa.
Awesome, man. Hey, so obviously, you've competed in all sorts of different types of matches and things of that nature, including intergender matches. What do you think about the quote-unquote rise of intergender matches to the American fan? Obviously, certain cultures have always had that in place, but what do you think about it actually getting its shine here in America?
Man, I've been an early champion for intergender matches. I was having them in 2003. I wrestled Taya Valkyrie intergender. I think it's a non-issue. I think it's stupid to split that up. I think it's sexist to say that a woman can't wrestle a man. If Kate Blanchett wants to be the villain in Thor Ragnarok and have a fist fight with Thor, then it's okay for that to happen in a wrestling ring.
Right.
It's the stupidest shit ever for it not to be. And not to mention that there's some badass women wrestlers that are bringing it for a lot. Listen, real talk, for a long time in the States, it was kind of garbage. The women in Japan, they've been having fantastic matches, for 30 years. But like it was kind of whack here. But then everyone's game is raised now, where there's badass chicks everywhere, like Shotzi Blackheart and obviously Tessa Blanchard and Io Shirai, who to me is wrestling god.
Definitely.
I think it's amazing. I think it's stupid to not do that. WWE's done it in the past, where China would have the Intercontinental title and wrestle Eddie Guerrero, and so I think it's great. I think it's awesome. They're easy to base. But no, I love it, man. It's cool. You can tell cool stories.
Speaking of stories, I know this is another thing. I'm giving King Lucky here a lot of credit.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I know.
No joke, man.
King Lucky in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
But not in the house.
But not in the house. Yeah. I guess now he says he saw a picture on Instagram with you in a motion capture suit.
Mm-hmm.
What game were you working on? Is his question.
We did, so me, PJ Black, and John Hennigan did a lot of motion capture stuff for this WWE game that was like an app WWE game.
Okay.
Where you played on your phone.
Yeah.
And you could pick from like rosters from the 80s to now, and we had to mimic the movement. So like if you play that game, like I did all the Shinsuke Nakamura stuff, I did Shane McMahon stuff, I did Enzo Amore movements. We would watch and try to copy it and copy like the mannerisms. And that was fun to me because I'm such a mark for power wrestlers, even though like I'm a little scrappy shit. That I could mimic the movements well. So like I was doing the Goldberg's jackhammer and the spear and all the taunts, and they just used all my shit for all the big guy stuff.
Nice.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
It was fun.
That still gives hope for all the smaller guys out there who haven't had the chance to do the big guy stuff. That's brilliant.
Oh yeah. No, it was like a WWE kind of app type of game, and it was fun to work on.
Yeah, man. So is there something that people would be surprised to know about Super Panda?
Well, I've got a fantastic singing voice.
Ooh.
And I'm never sick at sea. So
Really?
I guess. No, I have a theater background. We competed professionally in theater as a kid. So I did Richard III and Shakespeare, and then musical theater, and all the while doing martial arts. Like I was doing competitive boxing, and then Taekwondo and some Muay Thai and stuff. While doing on a Friday, I'd be boxing a dude 140, 145 pound amateur boxing bout. Then the following Tuesday, I'm like the lead in Footloose for competition at Universal Studios. It's just fucking madness.
Wow.
So I'm a bit of a song and dance man when I'm not kicking and punching.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, definitely a diverse background.
He goes from Super Panda
to Kung Fu Panda the musical.
Right.
Oh yeah. Well, listen, we had that Wolverine connection. We all know that Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, has his background.
Yeah,
There's something,
seriously.
there's something theatrical that's good there.
That's awesome, man. So one segment that we have on the show is so I'm Sin City Steve, and as everybody knows, the 7 deadly sins are a thing. So how could we adapt that to our show? So what I've got is it's a newer segment, and it's going to be just super quick. What I'll do is I'm going to mention a name of a person or a promotion, something of that nature, and the very first thing that pops into your head, just blurt it out. So quick word association. We're going to go for 70 seconds. So this is 70 deadly seconds. Are you ready, sir?
Okay, so now, so do I say the first word and kind of explain what I mean by that, or just so I can say it and move on?
So it's going to be just rapid fire, kind of like lightning round style. And I've got a list of names and promotions and things like that. If you just want to fire off, then we'll just make it happen for you.
All right, brother.
All right, dude. So first things first, AULL.
AULL. Book me.
Luchasaurus.
Damn. It was fun while it lasted.
Nice. La Banda Panda.
Come catch these hands.
John Hennigan.
Brother.
Joey Ryan.
Great storyteller.
Nice. Yeah. Scorpio Sky.
Oh, good friend. Sky's the limit. Great guy.
Nice. Triple A.
I'd like to work there, but I'm scared of getting killed or waking up in a vat of acid or buried and fucking thrown in a lake or some shit. But I love my mask stuff comes from Japan in a big tiger mask. I do a lot of the tiger mask mannerisms, but I love Lucha Libre and Rey Mysterio and Blue Demon. I wrestled Blue Demon Jr. in Miami once. It was dope, and so I love all that shit. But I hear these horror stories, and I'm just terrified. You know what I mean? I'm an artist. I'm not gonna.
Nice.
I want to do a gunfight or some shit.
And
but I'm down.
Yeah, definitely, man. Lastly, but certainly not least, Bumps and Brewses.
Man, family and an exciting ass time. I always have such a great time wrestling there that I feel like I'm part of the family, and I get goosebumps talking about it. The excitement from the audience. I say family and excitement.
Awesome, man.
Panda, man, thank you, man, so much for doing this interview with us, man. We're excited to have you on. And even more excited to see you because, of course, we're going to be there at the show as well. So we're going to be seeing what you do in the ring.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get it on. Not sexually, of course.
Well, no problem. Do you have, outside of the Bumps and Brewses, is there any other shows that we want to promote that you're in or upcoming or?
Man, definitely Rogue Tournament Wrestling. I'm excited about that.
Okay.
That has a production quality that I think is lacking on the indies. These performers are putting their lives on the line and getting injured and getting hurt and not hanging out with their families so they could go and do something dangerous. You're going to record that shit on some iPhone or not at all. Let's bring it up. It's 2019. It's not that expensive to shoot something on a halfway decent camera. You could go on Fiverr and outsource editing to some dude in Sri Lanka. Let's present this as it should be because it's fantastic and fantastically dangerous and needs to be captured in a much more professional way. Yeah. So I'd say check out Rogue Wrestling and Bumps and Brewses.
Okay, and do you have any social media that you like to promote at all that anybody can reach you if they want to know?
Yeah. Let's. I'm on Instagram. You can follow me on The Real Super Panda on Instagram. Okay. Love Instagram. I want to set fire to Twitter and Facebook. I want to set it on fire, but I have to. Literally, if you look at my Super Panda on Facebook, I think I'm Panda AF, and under it says I'm only doing this for work. I'm forced. I don't like Facebook, Twitter. I can't spell right. So Twitter, I'm always writing shit wrong on Twitter, and then I'm the asshole that can't spell. Right. I can't. So, but I'm on Twitter, Real Super Panda on Twitter, Panda AF on Facebook, The Real Super Panda on Instagram, and my Instagram is fire.
Awesome.
Nice.
Cool. Well, outside of that, thank you, man, again, and we will see you again Saturday, June 29th, Bumps and Brewses at the Ale Works Brewery and Tasting Room. Thanks, Panda.
Awesome. No problem. Thank you, guys.
No doubt.
Bumps and Brewses, Saturday, June 29th, Los Angeles Ale Works. Doors open at 7 p.m. Tickets start at $25. Bell time 7:30. VIP ticket holders 6 p.m. with those Vegas bad boys of podcasting. Be there or be square.
Daddy, are you okay?
Yes, baby, I'm just, never mind.
Now back to Vegas bad boys of podcasting.
On the phone with us today, we have Indy pro wrestler who was born and raised in Queens, New York, and trained out of the Santino Brothers Wrestling Academy. He has a big match in a co-main event against Brian Cage in the upcoming Bumps and Brewses show in Los Angeles on June 29th at the Ale Works Brewery. Vegas Bad Boys welcomes Slice Boogie.
Yeah.
What up, what up, what up? You ain't know what it is. Queens in the building, boy.
Slice, man, I gotta tell you, I've been following you for a little while now, man, and we're doing the pre-show for this Bumps and Brewses show, and I was really excited, man, because you got some real heat going on, But before we start there, I just want to take it back to where you got started. Were you a fan of the business growing up?
Yeah, so my brother is 8 years older than me, and he's been watching wrestling since he was a baby. He would watch a little bit when he was in Puerto Rico, and by the time I was born, we were already in New York. So since I was born, it's been on TV. So I grew up with it, and I'm old. I was born in '85, so I grew up when it was on TV. It was like I don't know if it's considered. I guess it's considered the golden era.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
late '80s, Hogan, Macho Man, Andre, shit like that.
Yeah.
So,
and along those
no,
lines,
this is not new to me.
yeah. Along those lines, who was your favorite growing up?
All-time favorite is Undertaker.
Really? Wow. What about Undertaker? Drew you to him?
I don't know. It was just like it was believable. As outrageous as the gimmick was, like, are we allowed to curse?
Yeah, man.
yeah. Right.
Well, fuck yeah,
So,
we
like,
already got started.
that motherfucker really moved like a dead motherfucker. So like, he really believed it. And like, I remember, like when he beat Hogan for the belt, like almost the whole crowd was booing him, but you could see like a couple kids cheering for him because he was a heel, but people still started to like him right away.
Right.
So me
Yeah.
and my older brother, that's like our favorite. So. That's my guy right there. I'm sorry to see what happened in the recent match. But.
Yeah, man. Well, let me ask you, if you had to place blame on somebody, who do you think that blame goes on?
I wouldn't blame either or, because the communication probably wasn't there. So people are getting mad at Undertaker for the tombstone, but a tombstone is a two-way move.
Right.
And let's say I have a guy up and I'm squeezing his waist. It's his job to squeeze my waist back, so when I hit my knees, he doesn't slide out and hit his head.
Right.
Gotcha.
So Goldberg was concussed, and he wasn't able to squeeze back, but you can't blame him for being concussed.
Right.
It's just when people are hurt, things could go really wrong. And
Yeah.
like, you don't see it that much. But when people want to complain about it, oh, it was a bad match, but he was hurt,
Yeah.
He was hurt.
And do you think that it's a fair critique that they should hang it up, or you think it was just a one-off?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely don't think Undertaker should hang it up.
Yeah, definitely.
He was probably leading the match and trying to dictate what happened. And when he chokeslammed Goldberg the second time, that he probably just said, "I have to bail on this match before this guy dies or kills me." So like, I think Undertaker's still capable of having a good match.
Yeah, and
Goldberg maybe not. Maybe Goldberg is just too far gone, and maybe he might have had more concussions than we know.
right, and because he usually back in the day he used to bump his head on the door, or, and get that thing started. So, but I think you're right on. Undertaker still has a lot more in the tank. And I would like to see him, either at a Survivor Series, kind of where he started his career, or at a WrestleMania. Have you got a chance to watch him live?
I saw him at a house show in Madison Square Garden. I think I was like 10 or 11 or 12. And I've seen him live, and it's like, he's incredible. I'm trying to remember who he wrestled at the house show. I really can't remember. Might have been Bret Hart. I'm not too sure.
So he's got one more match left in him, and I say we book it right now. I see Undertaker versus Slice Boogie.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Would you be in awe? Like, you feel like you couldn't work that match because you'd truly be in awe of him?
I probably would. Because you hear people who are like successful pro wrestlers who are in awe. Like fucking, I forgot who was telling. Like, they forgot the match when he came out because his entrance was incredible, and this is like a WWE champion.
Right.
So hell yeah, I would be. I'm brand new. I'd be like, oh shit myself.
If you were booking it, who would he face? Whether it's somebody that's current, like right now.
In his final match, is that what
in his final match?
I'll book him versus AJ Styles.
Oh, yeah.
Because he always has the best matches with smaller guys.
Yeah,
very
like
true.
He's always had big guy. He's always had big guy adversaries. So you have Diesel, Psycho Sid, fucking Giant Gonzalez, Yokozuna, and he could pick them up and he could tombstone them and shit. But the dynamic isn't there.
Right.
Like when you have someone flying and shit, him versus Shawn Michaels, him versus CM Punk, him versus even Edge.
Yeah.
Someone smaller than him, where his size is, I don't know, it's just more of an advantage. Someone has to outquick him.
Do you think, not only Undertaker, but Lesnar is kind of in that same boat where, his matches with the big guys are kind of just there. They're kind of boring, but the smaller guys tend to work better with the bigger guys. Do you think it's because of the fact that when you have two big guys like that, usually the big guys aren't the workers like the smaller guys are? So do you think that translates, or
I don't know if it's that they're not the workers, but maybe it's what they're told they can do and can't do. Like if we look at Hogan was actually a trained wrestler. He could do a lot of crazy shit, like submissions, but they just didn't let him if he didn't have to do it. Like we saw Keith Lee versus Dijak or one of these big guys from NXT a few weeks ago, and they were going ham.
Yeah.
Moonsaults and fucking monkey flip landing on his feet. So bigger guys could work. I just don't know if it's the dynamic of like two giant men and like maybe what they just want to make each other look big, as opposed to the smaller guy doesn't have to look big. He could get tossed around, and when he brings the fight to the bigger guy, it's exciting. I think it's just like this clash of styles, I guess. Maybe it's not that they can't work.
Right. Speaking about working against bigger guys, Brian Cage, dude.
Yeah.
Woo. What is?
He bleeds just like me.
That's right. That's what I'm talking about.
He's not that tall either. I'll bust his ass in basketball.
Hey, Slice, man, I tell you, when we got you booked for this show, man, I told these guys straight up, I said, Slice Boogie is gonna be fucking entertainment, and you have delivered so far.
I mean, like, wrestling is hard. Like, I'm a decent wrestler right now. I mean, I would say for the amount of time I've been wrestling, maybe I'm overachieving. But in the bigger spectrum of things, I'm not a good wrestler, not yet, you know?
Yeah.
Like, hey, Kenny Omega's been wrestling 18 whatever years. AJ Styles has 20 years. I don't care how good you are, you're not going to be good right away, but I'm going to talk shit. I think I can talk shit as good as the best of them.
Yeah.
And I have to take advantage. And it has to be entertainment, you know?
Absolutely.
It has to be entertainment. It doesn't have to be comedy. It doesn't have to be this or that. It could be all those things, you know? Because I want to be taken seriously in the ring. I'm tough, but sometimes I might not be as tough as I think I am, and you know, people want to see that shit. People want to see a loudmouth get fucked up.
Right.
That's what I'm gonna bring to the table.
And you know,
sometimes I'm gonna fuck the guy back up.
Right. And you know what's so crazy is you're living on the West Coast now, but man, you come out with the New York gear to the fucking nines, man, and I know people are like hating so hard.
Yeah. Like, I've been able to generate crazy heat off the bat.
Yes.
But, like, before they even hear once, so as soon as they see the New York shit, all I hear is "fuck New York." Oh, the Knicks suck. Oh, the Mets suck, bitch. Oh, worst team in the NBA. And then I go up to the fans who said it. I said, "Shut the fuck up. I'll fuck you up, bitch." Like, I'm on some real New York street energy. Like, I am from the projects, and that's how I would act if shit got real. So that kind of makes the fans feel part of the show. Like, some people don't, like, some people will probably be like, yo, that New York guy is going to push me in my face. I could have probably beat him up, but, you know, it'll make them feel alive, you know?
Right.
Whereas I'm not going to be a wrestler who's just walking by, oh, I'm so cool. Nah, fuck you. You don't like me, I don't like you either, bitch.
Right.
I think that brings, like, a certain dynamic.
And you know what? That's what makes us as fans connect with different personalities, right? So you have somebody that engages you like that instead of just walking right past or not really selling what they're doing. And I think that's awesome. And along with that too, you're going to one of the most credible wrestling schools that's ever been produced with the Santino brothers.
Yeah, it's been a dream going there. Because I went there for a one-day class for shits and giggles. Like, my friend, I kept talking about it. I was like, yeah, I look like a motherfucking WWE champion right now. Like, I was in the gym all pumped up. And I'm like, yeah, I should probably go to wrestling school. I could tell you a funny-ass story how I found out about that school, too.
Man, tell it.
So I'm on Tinder. I'm on Tinder. You know, I be swiping, and I see a girl, and someone has her in a Texas Cloverleaf submission.
Wow.
What the fuck is this? She's good looking. I'm not gonna say who she is. She's pretty good looking too. I'm like, who the fuck is this?
Oh, so she's known.
So I had her. So she was a student. She's a wrestler.
Okay. All right.
So like, I'm like, let me hit her on the DMs. Not being a perv. Not being a perv. Yeah. I was like, I wanted to know if this is for real or if she was doing like some class or like some, like, you know how like kickboxing is a fitness class now.
Right.
I didn't know if it was dead ass or not. So she's like, nah, it's a real thing. It's a real school. So I looked it up and she's like, oh, go to the one-day tryout. So I go to the one-day tryout and, like, not to put my over, like, the best motherfucker there by far. So I signed up right away. And that was it, man. I had to put the work in, and I was able to debut, and I'm still training, still trying to learn.
That's dope, man. And you talked about the contrast of styles, you know, a few seconds ago. You fought recently Luchasaurus. How was that?
Yeah. That was challenging because he's bigger than me, taller than me, but he's also kind of flippy. He's like a big-time kicker. He wasn't even, I don't even know if he punched me now I think about it. But I think he chopped my soul away and then he was kicking me and shit.
Oh, man.
I feel like it was a good match. I couldn't really overpower him, so I had to pull out my athleticism. Like, I'm not, people be telling me I'm a big guy, but like, I'm probably a big guy on the indies, but I'm not a big, like in WWE, if I miss 2 meals, they might throw my ass in 205 live. I got like TD and the mashed potatoes. So like, it was fun though, because I was there. He told me that I did better than a lot of people as far as being there for what he wanted to do, and I wasn't trying to shy away from his kicks. So I was happy with the match. You know, it was a good experience.
Yeah. Hey, so, on the show, we like to also talk about things that, outside of wrestling. And I got to tell you, man, I noticed that you're a huge foodie, whether it's oysters or ice cream sandwiches. What about the West Coast, man? Have you got your hands on that? You were just like, damn, this is better than what I got in New York.
Definitely not the pizza. Trash. The pizza here is fucking terrible. The Mexican food, of course, is lit.
Oh, yeah.
Mexican food here, it's on another level. Like the street tacos and all that. And I'm a big fan of like the bang for your buck.
Right.
Like, am I gonna get $100 steak? Maybe once a year, but I'm like, I'd rather get like the dollar taco that should be $6.
Yeah.
Also, the donuts here are kind of crazy. That's something I learned right away. Like, I couldn't find any 24-hour delis, but there's always a donut shop open. And you get donuts.
Well, let me ask you this, because we have this long-standing debate on the show, and maybe you've tried both of them or not, but Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' Donuts?
I've never had Krispy Kreme ever.
Really?
Yeah, because in New York we didn't have them. We
That's
had
true,
one
yeah.
that was like in a train station underground, and I ain't trying to eat no fucking donuts underground. Stinky ass train station, rats all over the place. But Dunkin' Donuts is not that good. Like, there's a donut shop near me called SK Donuts.
Yeah.
And it's like really fucking good, and like it makes Dunkin' Donuts, it puts it to shame. So donuts here are definitely, Dunkin' Donuts is not really that good. The coffee's kind of good. The donuts are whatever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so West Coast takes the donuts to a whole nother level.
Yeah, West Coast kind of takes the donuts. As far as even being affordable, because New York, I'm hearing they have these designer donut shops, so it's probably like $7 for one donut.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you too. These guys on the show, they gave me heat, man. Before we started the show, we were talking about donuts, and they don't like pineapple on pizza. I do. Where do you stand on pineapple on pizza, man?
I think it's an atrocity.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I will give you. I will never order it, and like if like my chick orders it or someone orders it and that's all they get, I'll be pissed. But if I'm starving and it's there, I'll eat it. I ain't gonna lie. Because if I'm hungry, I really don't give a fuck.
You just
I don't think
pineapples
it belongs on it.
Hey, and along
Yeah,
those,
I'll take the pineapples off of it and put it in my fucking Henny. A Henny Colada.
Exactly.
Hey, along those lines too, they also gave me heat for this one. Jelly donuts.
Boo.
I mean, I eat like raspberry jelly donuts.
Yeah, man. Like that's regular
what the
stuff.
fuck did they say is wrong with that?
Yeah,
What's
they
wrong with
told
jelly
me.
donuts?
Yeah, they told me it's a no go, and
Yeah.
all of them too. I'm
Yeah,
like,
jelly don't belong in the donut. I'm sorry.
It's not that it doesn't belong. It's
I
just,
mean, I
It's
like them
personal
better
preference.
than Boston cream.
yeah.
Boston cream is nasty, bro. What is that? Tapioca? Get the fuck out of my donut.
well, what do you expect? It's from
It's
Boston.
from Boston, yeah.
Yeah, we're not even gonna go there. We're not even gonna go there. They don't deserve any play on this interview.
So, what do you think of the Knicks' chances with the draft coming up?
Well, KD fucking hurting his Achilles just fucked everything up.
He sure did. He blew it.
Oh my God, that's like, because I'm pretty sure he was gonna come here. Now it's like we don't know what the fuck is gonna happen.
I think he's
The
gonna
Knicks
resign.
should probably, resign. Even for 2 years, I don't think they'll give him a 1 year deal.
Yeah,
But like resign and get paid $32 million just to fucking recover.
Yeah,
I think that.
I don't know.
I think it also changed Clay's plans too, because Clay looked like he was probably going to leave, but ultimately now both of them are injured, so I know the organization is going to take care of them.
Yeah, and these are not like little injuries. They didn't stub their toe like Shaq. These guys are like, they're looking at like months. I think we'll draft someone. We'll probably draft R.J. Barrett. I heard rumors of drafting Bobo, who's like 12 feet tall, but I think that would be a mistake because he'll get hurt.
I think so too, man. When the taller they are,
more fragile.
Those knees, tend to give out. You know.
Yeah, it's just they can't hang for the 82 games.
Right.
Look at Porzingis.
Yeah. Porzingis.
People were mad that we traded him. He's a really fucking good player. But, that could be a sign of things to come. What good is he if he plays 40 games every year?
Right.
I think we'll get R.J. Barrett, and then hopefully a superstar will sign, and it'll be a domino effect.
Who was your favorite player growing up?
John Starks. That's what I was Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
John Starks used to put up buckets.
Yeah, see,
He was clutch.
I grew up in Chicago, so... our Bulls-Knicks rivalry between Jordan and, those teams of the Knicks with the Union and stuff. That's some of the best basketball I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, ever. Because they would score, they would hit threes and dunks, but, they're not allowed to play defense like that anymore.
Exactly.
No. And I think Chicago Bulls fans, even though you always got the best of Starks and the Knicks, I think they respected the Knicks these guys, these are not pushovers, These are...
Yeah.
And Milwaukee Bucks, who fucking suck. if these guys are playing, we should watch it, and it's going to be a hell of a game. And John Starks was fresh out of the fucking grocery store. He was bagging groceries.
Yeah.
And then he became the adversary for the greatest player of all time, and he actually did a good job every now and then. So. I like underdogs, the Knicks are underdogs. We suck every fucking year. So. He represented the Knicks. I like Sprewell. I like a lot of Knicks, I like Iverson. There's too many players to name, but as far as one basketball player that, resonates, it's probably Stark.
That's dope. What do you think of, it just happened, obviously, yesterday, but AD to the Lakers?
It's corny. That shit is super corny. It's wild corny.
They
did give up a lot of people.
They did, but I will say the one thing that I was talking to Impact about is they have probably the perfect opportunity with the Warriors hobbled the way they are right now. Clay's out, KD's out. They could possibly take the West.
I could kind of see it. If not take it, at least be top 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I don't know who else they have left or how much money they have.
They have a 32 million cap around, and they literally have 5 players under contract right now. That's it. So they're building this.
Did they give up Kuzma or no?
No. Kuzma stayed.
Yeah.
Oh, so they kept Kuz and they kept Ingram, or they gave up?
No, they gave up Ingram. I can't even tell you the other 2. I can't even.
I know Lonzo is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other 2 who are under contract are pretty much bench guys, I think, too. I can't even come up with their names off the top of my head. So it's going to be interesting with, the people who are available, and will someone take a pay cut, to join that.
To get a ring, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. The NBA is crazy every year, every year. It's crazy. But Anthony Davis is no joke.
Yeah.
He's tough.
As long as he,
I don't know. It's corny though. It's corny.
Well, he's got to stay healthy. That's the biggest thing. Another big guy who could possibly get hurt.
Yeah, he's not super frail, but he gets hurt.
Right.
Because he goes so hard and he does so much.
Yeah.
He's literally out there 44 minutes trying to fucking have the New Orleans Pelicans bums win some games. It's not happening. He has to do too much, and now it's almost like LeBron trying to do too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. LeBron is not really going as hard, especially on defense.
All right.
Shit on defense.
Hey, let me also ask you, Slice. I noticed your kick game, man. It's on point, right? What's your favorite pair of sneakers?
That's hard to pick. That's hard to choose.
I see you got the phones.
anything, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's very true.
Like, I can't choose my favorite girl, my favorite ice cream flavor. I can't choose my favorite pizza place. Like, I think the 11s, the white and black 11s are probably up there.
Yeah, they are. They
So
definitely
the black
are.
3 Jordan 3s. It's hard to pick a favorite sneaker. I wrestle in different sneakers because I have these 2 bunions and I can't be wearing no boots. My feet are. So I played basketball my whole life. My feet are tore up. So I need wide sneakers.
Yeah.
And like I need wide sneakers. Everyone's telling me to wrestle in Timbs. I might be doing something in Timbs soon, but it wouldn't really be in a ring. It'll be like a fight.
Like,
but
yeah.
I don't know if that's.
I saw you do that spot with Cross and Bob Holly in the Timbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just had to run out and handle my business. And if I'm gonna kick 2 motherfuckers in their nuts, I think Timbs will hurt more. And I was dressed up already. I was ready to leave the building, but I said, "No, let me get some payback." People want me to wrestle full matches in Timbs, and I'm like, do y'all not know what the bottom of a Tim looks like? It's not even or flat.
Right.
I'll die. On my first fucking drop down leapfrog, I'm gonna die.
For real.
It's not gonna happen.
Not only that, but you gonna hurt the shit out of your opponent.
Yeah, well, I ain't worried about that. Super Tim kick. Maybe that'll be my finish. Super kick. Fucking Tims.
The Super Tim kick. That's dope.
Hell yeah.
So you got a match coming up very shortly here, June 29th, with Brian Cage. What can we look forward to in that match with you two?
I think it's going to be the best match of my career because I'm willing to take and I'm willing to give, and that's a strong motherfucker. Whereas, like, let's say I'm booked against someone smaller than me, I'm not going to let them do certain stuff because I don't even know if they could do it.
Right.
Whereas if this guy grabs me, picks me up, and wants to turn me into a fucking piece of pizza dough and spin me around, he can do it. So I think it's... And then also, I think people are going to be a little surprised how strong I am and how I could pick up a 280-pound motherfucker like a baby. So it'll make me look good. I think I'm going to be able to mix my strength. I mean, obviously, I'm not the bigger guy, but if I could show my strength and then also show my athleticism and do some, maybe not too flippy, but maybe like lowercase flippy, lowercase f. It's going to be like, who is this fucking guy? Like, we've never seen this guy.
Right.
But he's talking shit, he's doing moonsaults, and he picked Cage up. I think it's going to be like a hard-hitting affair and just athletic affair. I think it'll be good.
Man, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. We'll be there live. We're doing the pre-show, and I think it is just going to be a hell of a match.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's the biggest match of my career by far.
Yeah.
And but like for me to be put in that situation, I got to step up. Like I'm not a 18-year-old kid, begging for the opportunity to get squashed in 2 minutes. I'm a grown man. If it's gonna happen, it has to happen now. I have to keep shooting up and having my goals get higher and higher. And this is just gonna be a way for the world to see that I am a pro wrestler, that I'm like, even if I'm young in the business, that I'm legit. Even if I'm still learning, I could have a good match with the world champion,
Right.
Yeah.
And that's just what it has to be. I'm not going in there trying to... Some guys come in to wrestle matches like, oh, I'm not going to do too much, maybe a little body slam. Fuck that. Like, this is a match where I'm going to try as much as I can and go all out. Like, I'm going all out. He might not go all out. He doesn't have to go all out. He's established his reputation and his legend. But I have to go all out. I have to go fucking head if I'm going to turn some heads.
Yeah, man.
Who right now? Who is the your favorite person that you've worked against so far?
In terms of what? Like in terms of match?
Yeah, in terms of the match and the style compatibility, in learning and growing. Who do you think has been your best fit?
Jake Atlas. Jake Atlas is like one of my like. He's from Santino's.
Right.
I guess a fellow alumni, and I learned so much from that guy. He's like my mentor in the business right now.
Nice.
He's like, because even when I was brand new to the school, he picked me to teach me and to push me mad hard. Like he knew I was going to be a wrestler. He knew I wasn't going to be in school for 2 months and quit.
Right.
So I'd say working with Jake Atlas and seeing what he's been doing lately, having crazy matches, every match he steals the show. I think even though like our match that we have for his belt, I feel like we could have a better match now only because I'm continually learning.
Right.
But that's probably been like the favorite person I've been able to work with because no matter what I wanted to try, he was with it. And he's taught me different pacing and it's not slow. Like I had to step up to the plate because he says, "Oh, I'm gonna kick you in your face. I'm gonna drop you. I'm gonna moonsault you. You're gonna sit up. Then I'm gonna kick you." Like it's a lot to process, but that's how I get better. Like if I play a bum in basketball and beat him 11-zip every one-on-one, I'm not getting better.
Right.
But if I play someone really good and they beat me every time, but then I start to chip away, that's gonna get me better. So I say Jake Atlas is probably like my favorite opponent right now.
Do you love the fact that in the wrestling world, it's like the only profession where you can literally say, so the guy, the guy I'm working with says to me, okay, I'm going to kick you in your face, then I'm going to drop you on your head, and then I'm going to roll over you. It's like the most, brutal things that you could ever be told. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, go ahead. It's just wonderful, man. Did you ever think you'd be here in the end like this?
I never thought I would be a pro wrestler. I've been having wrestling matches since I was a kid, outside in the projects, on the playground.
Uh-oh.
We got like the little rubber on the floor so we could take a bump.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we had, in Woodside Projects, we had like this, it was called Space Park, and we had like, it was almost like what's the Mad Max movie with Tina Turner, Terrordome or whatever?
Thunderdome.
It looks like
Yeah, Thunderdome.
Battledome?
Thunderdome.
Yeah. It was like that. We had one of those in the park where you could climb it. It looked like a half globe or whatever.
Yeah, I remember those.
Drop down and elbow and do crazy shit. So like that's why I've been able to pick it up quick because I was wrestling as a kid, but I never thought it was real. I never thought you could be a pro wrestler. I thought you could make the NBA. That was my dream. I thought that was more realistic than love. Being a pro wrestler, that's like a fairy tale. That's like being Wolverine or X-Men.
Yeah.
I didn't think it through. So I never thought I would be here, like doing this, or even doing, making a little noise either.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: how much of the current product do you watch now?
In terms of what, like WWE?
Just overall, yeah. WWE, AEW.
I say I watch wrestling every day. And maybe not like yesterday. I just got back from Arizona.
Yeah, with the Z-Lot Wrestling, right?
So I wasn't there. Like we were just on a road trip. I didn't watch wrestling there, but I say I watch wrestling every single day. I watch some WWE pay-per-views, or I watch matches that interest me. If I watch Raw or SmackDown, I'm gonna watch highlights, but I try to watch. I mean, I saw the entire Double or Nothing. I watch wrestling every day. I pay attention to New Japan. I try to keep up on indie stuff because you have to learn new things. You have to keep evolving, even if it's just a counter. If someone has me in a headlock, what can I do besides pushing him off? Like, what if I do this? Something that no one's ever done. So it's
right.
All the time I used to spend watching basketball and sports and like shit for leisure, it's gone into like studying wrestling now.
Yeah. And along those lines, who's probably somebody you'd like to have a dream match? We talked about earlier, Undertaker, but somebody that's in the game, is active right now, that's still going strong. Who would you like to wrestle?
I mean, my favorite current active wrestler is Kenny Omega, so that would be like my dream.
Yeah,
he's the reason I got back into wrestling. Because I've been watching wrestling my whole life, but once I started to pursue basketball and shit, and like after the Attitude Era and like things PG era, shit started getting corny. So I wasn't really watching it as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I stopped watching. Like I would catch the WrestleMania big matches, Taker Shawn.
but I wasn't watching weekly. I would catch some indie shit, but I wasn't really into it. But then when Okada Omega, the first one, happened, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I haven't never seen wrestling like this.
Right.
These guys are going crazy. So I started to dig deeper and deeper into New Japan, and then I like, it reinvigorated and like, it reignited my passion for this shit. So like, it would definitely be him. Because there's a lot of things, people don't know this. I kind of take certain things from him where it's like, sometimes he's like stop and go, explosiveness.
Yes.
He's not going full speed the whole match. And I kind of like to do that too, because like, I'm not a fucking Rey Mysterio go full speed all match. But I could go fast when I have to. I could speed it up, slow it down. And I think that would be my dream match, Kenny Omega.
Yeah, and you mentioned it earlier with Double or Nothing. Did you enjoy that match, Jericho versus Omega?
Yeah, I liked it. I don't think it was the best match of the night, but I thought it was like it was still a really good fucking match.
Interesting.
And just see how old Jericho is.
You said what did you say?
Just think how old that Jericho is.
Oh, yeah.
Able to have crazy matches. It's like, wow.
Well, yeah, without question.
And it wasn't a perfect match. Some things went wrong, but sometimes that's the beauty of it. When things go wrong and you have to figure, and you keep it gritty and fight and hit hard, sometimes that's realistic. Because if you have, like, let's say as a wrestler, you have certain things planned out and it doesn't happen, is the match going to become a failure, or is the match just going to be real and it's going to finish authentic and organic? Like, and I liked it. I thought it was a good match.
Right. And you mentioned it. You thought it wasn't the best match of the night. What do you think was the best match of the night?
I think Cody versus Dusty was like the best match.
Wow.
That was a crazy match. Like,
It told a hell of a story, right?
Yeah, the story, and then you still like Goldust is doing moves she's never done on TV. Dustin Rhodes, sorry, but like it's just fucking. It was a really good match.
Yeah.
It wasn't a spot fest either. It was just story and. I thought it was good. I thought it was really good, and I also like the Japanese women's match.
Yeah, that was good too.
Match.
And then Dustin got busted open pretty bad on that match too. Have you ever been busted open during a match yet?
No. I mean, I got my nose elbowed during a training match. So, like, I take a forearm to the nose. I'm out on my feet. I fall into the buckle. I wake up, and I just start punching the guy. So I drop him. And then and then he's like, can we stop it? To our trainer, because I'm just bleeding all over him, trying to stop him out. I mean, I wasn't trying to hurt him, stop him out, but I was working.
Right.
And I'm bleeding all over this guy's face and his body from my nose, and we stopped it. And that's the only time I've ever bled during a match. But I'll be down to bleed. I'll be down to do I've been telling people I want to do a death match.
Wow.
Because I think people are going to expect it, because I'm a tough gangster New York motherfucker. So I'm just not with the, I'm not with the fire and shit.
Yeah.
But I'll do all the other shit. Glass,
thumbtacks. Oh, man.
I'll do it once. I'm going to do it once. That's it.
That's a real war right there.
Yeah, but I think I'm built for it. I almost died, like, wrestling in my lobby before. Like, I was playing wrestling with my friend in my lobby. I'm putting him in the figure four, and he, like, gets out of it. So my arm goes through, like, a window pane in my lobby, and I cut my arm open crazy.
Oh.
You could see my artery. And they told me if I would have cut my artery, I would have died.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, this shit almost killed me, so I might as well. Have a death match to prove.
Live and die for it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. You have, what other shows do you have coming up? Obviously, we've got Bumps and Brewses coming up on the 29th of this month. Do you have anything else you're working on this month or in the future here?
I'm trying to see. Do I have any like big time matches? Looking at it, I mean, the Santino shows are coming up soon on July 20th. So we're moving to a bigger venue. Usually we'll have it at our school.
Nice.
But like to debut new students. But like this show is not anybody new. This is all of our current stars. We'll be at Inoki on July 20th. Inoki Dojo.
Okay.
I'm gonna be in San Francisco, West Coast Pro, July 12th. Baja Stars, San Diego, July 6th. Ground Zero, July 6th at San Diego. I don't have anything of this magnitude coming up though, like fucking Brian Cage. But I'm sure after the match, shit is gonna pop off real quick.
Man, well, I tell you, people getting an introduction to you right now will definitely enjoy what you are putting out there. The ring skills match the mic skills, and I think that you're destined for good things, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You got it. So where can people get a hold of you that want to see Slice Boogie?
My Instagram, and I have Twitter, but Twitter is like, I only use it for wrestling stuff. You're not going to see me be acting fool on there. But it's both Slice Boogie. You just put Slice Boogie, SLICEBOOGIE. That's my Instagram and my Twitter. That's where you get an idea of what's going on.
Nice.
Even though I've had to tone it down. Because people told me WWE and AEW might be looking at you and you acting a fool on Instagram. So I can't be put. I don't have my big booty women twerking on my couch anymore.
Anymore.
Not that appropriate.
Right, or how I eat when I'm with my girl versus how I eat when I'm with myself.
Well, yeah, I could do that though. That's like.
That's comedy, man.
I can still do shit like that. Yeah, I'm a firm believer in making people laugh too. Like, even if I'm dead serious, and like, oh, this guy's fucking from the project, he's dead serious. That doesn't mean I don't have a sense of humor. That don't mean I'm afraid to make fun of somebody or even make fun of self. Because if you can't laugh and have a range of emotions during a wrestling match, then what's the point?
Right. Yeah. And let me ask you this: if you had one destination you can get signed with right now, they push the contract across the table. Yeah.
That's tough. I haven't thought that far ahead. I would say WWE is still the dream.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I might go there and they might never use me, or I might go from a New York project guy to they might turn me into a New Orleans alligator hunter, and it'll drive, and then I'll be out the company in a year. Right. But that's still the dream,
Yeah.
AEW is also kind of a dream, but I feel like AEW might even be harder to make.
Really?
I feel like AEW, you would have to be a better worker as opposed to just, a complete package. I think WWE wants a package, and I might be more fit towards that right now as a talker as opposed to AEW is strictly work rate. It's character, but it's also, if you're signed to AEW, you are a polished wrestler.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about going for a tryout at the PC?
Some people have brought it up to me. I don't think I'm quite ready yet.
Okay.
I know first impressions are important. I don't think I'm quite ready yet. There's a lot of details. As far as being in physical shape, yeah, I could probably get through it. And I think I could actually kind of do good. Jake Atlas just had a performance center tryout not too long ago.
Right.
And he told me that a lot of the people trying out weren't even wrestlers. There's some wrestlers there, but there's a lot of just freak athletes, fucking whatever the fuck, football players and triathlon ninja warriors, and a lot of it is just super athletes coming through to see what WWE could mold them into. So I think I could probably do it. Yeah. But I'd like to be there. I like to get there and be a little better in the ring, like really good in the ring.
That's good, man. And I think you're definitely going to get there, get some experience. This in about just a little bit over a week and a half now at the Bumps and Brewses show on June 29th. So I think you're definitely going to get some experience.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm people. The only reason I got this match is because I had that Killer Cross night, Bob Holly night. I was given an opportunity. I wasn't even scheduled to be on the show. And like when you're given an opportunity, you got to step up. So I don't think I've ever had a bad match when I've been given like a big opportunity. You know, I've been able to step up to the plate, get the crowd worked up. I'm not fucking up in the ring, you know. So I think that's just, you know, you either fail or you succeed when you're given the opportunity. And if I keep succeeding more than I fail, hopefully things start to pick up.
Yeah. Well, Slice, we want to definitely thank you for doing the interview with us. You know, we're looking for great things from you. We can't wait to see the match going down again on June 29th, Bumps and Brewses. So thank you, Slice Boogie.
Thank you, fellas. You better be rooting for me, too. Don't be rooting for that big motherfucker. He got the bell, he got the baby, the girlfriend, he got the contract, man. Help a young brother get some money over here.
Right, exactly.
What?
Thank you so much for checking out that video. If you liked what we did there, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new here, slap that subscribe button and ring the bell. That way you can be a part of the notification squad. Follow us on social media at Vegas Bad Boys with a Z on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And until next time, we will see you in the next video.